putting too much into it. Yeah. Let's get this fire started. Sports became a passion. Convo bring it to life, highlighting all the action. Opinions could explode like a chemical reaction. If we started from the bottom, now rise up the newest caption. Man, it's known that every team and every person got an emphasis. But this that similarity that smokes all of our differences. Statements can get real, better back it up with evidence. Prove it for the record, watch this hour of deliverance. Haters outside the lines, but we do it quite frankly. Cause I'm around the horn, so just part the interruption. Cause the hatred they be spreading is an unwanted production.
What's going on, everybody? You know what it is. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I know we a little late. But listen, this is the Buffalo Bills edition to Rise Up Early coming up. You know who I am. Andre the Fire Starter Robinson is in the building. All right. Bills Mafia, you're going to want to put your likes and hearts in the air if you're watching on Facebook. Shout out to the OnPoint Network. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. This is going to be a fantastic show. It is Debate Day Sunday, folks. We was going to do this morning, but this is so real that I had to wait 6 hours to get this joint jumping. All right. We have Dallas Oliver in the building. Obviously, later on, we will have TC Casey in the building. And on the ones and twos, I do have my man Mookie Hawkins on the ones and twos. He is here, ready to debate anybody. We got great topics for you guys. All right. It is going to be Debate Day Sunday right here. All right. So, Dallas, what's up, man? Where'd that hat go? Where your hat go?
It's here.
Go ahead and rep your team. It's okay. It's okay. We ain't gonna kill you.
Got all the Super Bowl patches. Y'all can't see them. Got those on the back.
Bills Mafia won't kill you today. Okay. This is what I will say in a nutshell. All of the topics today, all of the topics except for two, will be Bills versus Patriots today. So we will get into it because a lot of people is watching right now, actually. In watch parties, we will get into all these debate topics and a whole lot more. Mookie Hawkins is here with his boxing gloves on, ready to rock and roll. Mookie Hawkins, what's up, man?
What's good with you, Dre?
Man, listen, I'm ready for the debates, man. I'm ready for these debates. Speaking of debates, some interesting stuff happened earlier in the week. We will get right into it right now. Tre'Davious White, for most of Bills Mafia, and I say most of Bills Mafia for a reason, had a little scare last week. Tre'Davious White, during the interview, Mookie Hawkins was there, present. Tre'Davious White talked about maybe opting out of the season. A lot of people got scared. Some people took to Twitter and started ranting the guy. Mookie Hawkins, you first. I just kind of want to know about the situation and how did you feel about, Bills Mafia supposedly coming for him?
Well, I mean, it's just no different from your job, my job. It's a job. Playing football is still a job at the end of the day. And me personally, I'm not going to risk, that going to work, for the sake of my family. Family is first, hey, fans are fans, but, it just, this pandemic is hitting everybody else so differently that, this is why the questions are being asked. This is why people are, had doubts, leading up to actually going there. So, the way probably Tre'Davious spoke upon it, in retrospect, in the first part of it, I believe that, a lot of players were undecided. They were just not as vocal as Micah Hyde, Steph Diggs, and, clearly Tre'Davious, this week. But, until they finally seen what the Bills had in place for them, and I think that it's one of the best models possibly ever, in reference to how to address social distance and still getting those reps accounted for. I think they got a good system in place. That's very precautious, and, we'll just see how, things go with that. But Tre'Davious had every right to, say what he said, so So I'm just feeling about that.
Well, here's my question: how many Bills players currently are on the COVID-19 reserve list?
Well, nobody's on it right now.
Okay.
Duke Williams just got. Duke Williams just got. He was the last cleared. So he's finally get an opportunity to get it in the building and get caught up to speed on some things. But nope.
All right. So how many was on the list? That's matter of fact, that's a better question.
I do believe 5.
Okay, so 5 was on the list.
Yeah, 5 was on the list, and the Bills immediately went back to phase 1 of the precaution. Nobody in the building, so they get a pinpointed. Make sure that no one was in contact. They got these wristbands that will break everything down. Say where a player was to test positive, that tracker will be able to track who that person has been around and encountered within the course of the day. So they really got something going on there. It's just that when they get to traveling and playing against other teams, how they're gonna I think they're gonna upscale a little bit, but so far so good.
Okay, this is how I feel in a nutshell, and maybe the fire starter is about to get the fire started with this. You couldn't have thought, and yes, I'm saying this as I have a Bills hat on right now. Bills Mafia, I want to shout you guys out. And when I say the real Bills Mafia, I mean the real Bills Mafia. Because Bills Mafia don't do nothing to put their team in jeopardy. Trey White, first and foremost, is probably the best player on the team. Would you agree or disagree? Best player on the team right now, currently?
Yep.
Okay. So if you know Trey White and you know the COVID-19 situation, you obviously know that people are dying from this situation. People are getting sick. People have lasting effects from COVID-19. So if you know that and you know this guy is about his family, why do you go on Twitter and start running your mouth? To me, that's not real Bills Mafia, because real Bills Mafia would have did what real Bills Mafia did, which was keep quiet, wait for his decision, respect his decision, whether it's yes or no, and moved on. But then you got some guys out here running their mouth who claim to be Bills Mafia, but have no problem putting the team in jeopardy for the sake of a couple words, a couple of keyboard strokes on Twitter. You ain't real Bills Mafia. I'm just keeping it above. Okay? That ain't real Bills Mafia. And if you think so, I kind of would love to ask everybody else in Bills Mafia how they felt when they were waiting until 4 o'clock, holding their breaths, waiting, hoping that Trey White didn't opt out. The optics of that would have been quite crazy if he would have opted out, right? Here's another thing that I will mention real quick, and I got D Stanfield, the professional in the building, Fresh Perspective Sports and Rise Up Family Sports. What's up, D Stanfield?
What's going on? TODT Live, too.
Oh, yeah, and TODT Live, talk of the town. By the way, I just want to put this out there. If Trey White was not in a contract year, I think Trey White would have opted. To be very honest. Okay? Right now, Trey White is obviously on the last year of his rookie deal, knowing that he's going to
should have been extended already.
Yeah, thank you, professional. I love how you come in here and we already here. Listen,
he should have been extended at the end of last season. The way he played last year was lights out. There's no way that you shouldn't have extended him as soon as the offseason got here.
So with that being said, that is very real. Should have been extended already. But for the fact that he's not extended is the fact of the reason that you don't run your mouth. Number one, the optics are bad on running your mouth and then he opts out. And number two, what if Trey White is now like, these dudes was bashing me.
Yeah, exactly.
These dudes was bashing me out. Man, maybe I should go somewhere else.
Now, ultimately, it's going to depend on how the organization has been treating him as opposed to what the organization in the locker room has been treating him.
Turn your mic up, D. Turn your mic up, D.
I said ultimately it's going to be
There you go.
contingent upon how the organization and the locker room has been treating him as opposed to the fans. I mean, the fans are a minute aspect in terms of how, where a person feels welcome and how they desire to keep their career going or whatever. But let's be clear, he could go wherever he wants to. We saw what happened in the Stephon Gilmore situation, and I don't think we want to repeat of that. So,
Speaking of which, the debate will get real very shortly. Mookie Hawkins and TC Casey should be on here very shortly, very, very shortly. We had some things happen. I'll take the blame for it. But we got Dallas Oliver in the building, and Devon Stanfield is in the building. We will have a debate session today where we will go all out on all of this between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots because I feel like there's a lot of tension before the season. And we might as well put some fire to that, right? Let's put some fire on it early. Anything else you want to say about Trey White? Dallas, how do you feel about Trey White in this whole opting in situation?
Very good for Bills Mafia. I will say I was not one of the heartbroken few that he did choose to opt in. He said he might opt out, and I was like, man, that would be huge for us. I said, that maybe would take the Bills Mafia down a couple pegs, maybe not, but...
No, it would have. You were right.
Yeah.
It would have.
I was kind of hoping he'd opt out for obvious reasons, because their receivers can't get no separation to start with, and he makes their job a lot harder. But I'm the football fan in me, the purist in me, is glad that he didn't, because with everyone else opting out, you want to see like the stars, and I think he does classify as that at this point. I know about great cornerback play because I've seen it with Gilmore and Ty Law, so White definitely reminds me of those guys. And it just makes the rivalry that much more fun when you have the stars still choose to play, and that's what people come to see. They come to see the big names play in battle, and Trey White always gives you that.
I think that the receivers will get more. I think that your Patriot receivers against us will get more separation this year than they have in years past because unlike years past, they have to worry about a quarterback running the ball as well as passing the ball. So when you're a cornerback in safeties and you're paying attention, you're having to look back at whether the quarterback is taking off as well as trying to stay disciplined and watch your receivers alone. It's not as easy of a task as people like to make it out to be.
And what I think will help is we just hired Troy Brown on as our new receivers coach. We had Joe Judge, who was coaching our special teams, coaching the Giants now, took over as receivers coach when Chad O'Shea went to Miami with Brian Flores, and Brian Dable went to Alabama, then came to Buffalo as your O coordinator. I really like the hire, though, of Troy Brown as receivers coach. I mean, he was the first real do-it-all, do-everything guy for New England, so I think he can teach those guys the nuances of how he got open.
I think the acquisition of Brian Dabo was the biggest mistake that the Bills have made in the last decade.
What I tell you earlier, Dallas, before the show started.
He's good tight end coach, bad O coordinator.
That is correct.
Chad O'Shea would have made a better O coordinator.
And I don't even know if he's the greatest tight end coach, but I'll leave that where it is.
And we got Mookie Hawkins in the building. Mookie is here now. Hopefully,
Mookie Superfly Hawkins.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, one more guy shows up. Obviously, we're going to skip around the battle for a moment, and we'll talk about one thing that does need to be discussed. This definitely needs to be discussed right now while we wait on TC Casey as well. All right, so let's discuss this. Folks, I'm just wondering. It's been a question for the last week and a half. Who gets paid first? The snowman.
We really having a conversation?
Or Money Matt Milano? I need to know. It's been a conversation for a while now. But I need to know. Dallas, who's getting paid first?
All right. Well, I think you definitely have to pay Matt Milano. But in terms of getting paid first, it will be Deion Dawkins. Not because he should be paid, but because left tackle is the blind side of 95% of quarterbacks, that's the side that you want to protect the first. They can't brace for those hits coming. I'm not very high on Deion Dawkins. I think he's an average left tackle at best, but that's one of the most important positions on the line. So just for that reason alone, you have Tremaine Edmonds at linebacker as well, who can play the wood on people, but you don't really have a viable option behind Deion Dawkins, and it's so hard to find an even semi-decent left tackle to help keep your quarterback clean that if they want to have designs of going anywhere this year, they got to keep Josh Allen clean. You got to pay your blindside blocker, even if he's not the most spectacular. He does the job.
Mookie Hawkins. Look at Mookie Hawkins' face. He just sit there like, yeah, if you say so. Dallas, that was a good synopsis, definitely. I give you props on that. Mookie, how you feel about this? Who gets paid first? Matt or Snowman?
I mean, we already know. I mean, you got to protect your franchise quarterback. So we know Deion, in my eyes, is pretty much next in line to get a contract. Only way that Matt Milano signed before Deion, he would have to take anywhere between $7 to $8 million a year. I don't see Matt Milano. Well, I mean, I just don't see the Bills having two linebackers. You got Tremaine Edmonds' contract is coming up. So, I mean, the Bills are thinking ahead. You know what I mean? That's
they
why.
ain't thinking too far ahead, or else they'd have extended Tre'Davious already.
But you got to look at where they are salary cap wise. So, I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, Tre'Davious White will be the highest paid cornerback, and he will be a Buffalo Bill. But they got to make sure that by putting it in place,
that's why you extend him at the end of last season. So you can get you can not con him. You could talk him into doing something that's team friendly for the next 2 years, like they did with Patrick Mahomes.
Players are never doing any more team friendly deals. That's
Patrick Mahomes just did one.
Cam Newton's the only person I know that do a player friendly.
No, Jameis Winston.
Ask Malcolm Butler if we can.
There's different levels. There's levels.
I don't ever recall Cam Newton throwing 40 touchdowns or 32.
Let's not try to find numbers when it comes to why this quarterback who was number one overall, a Heisman Trophy winner and a national champion, I don't want to hear that.
They both got them same statistics.
Hold on, that's something Peyton Manning ain't got. So I don't want to hear any of that.
I'm just saying they both won the Jameis and Cam both won the Heisman. They both won the national championship. But why
all of a sudden this significant just drop down when it comes to renegotiating the contract and things like that?
Because one of them, never mind. I'm gonna leave that.
So Ryan Tannehill is better than Cam Newton. That's what we're talking about right now.
He's whiter than Cam Newton.
Well, of course we know.
You know what? Listen, let's stay on topic, folks.
We're talking football.
Hey, I'm gonna let you finish, Mookie. I shouldn't have cut you off in the first place, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, you got to look at it from their standpoint. It got to be compatible with everybody else's contract because, I mean, you drafting these guys and they're producing. We're in the playoffs. We're in talks of being the front runners for the division and all that this year. And guys' contracts are up. You know what I mean? So, they help create that wave and all of that stuff. So you got to pay the guys that you draft. And they got to make sure that all the pieces in place and the money is there. So, I don't want to sign you to get rid of you in a couple of years. That's why you think Stephon Diggs got his little bump. Let's just go ahead and pay you your worth now. Right now, yes, you are one of the top receivers in the league. Let's pay you like it right now. Thank you, Styler Tulatech. All right. Let's pay you like that right now. Because now when we start getting later on, you're gonna be happy that you still getting 11, 12 million a year. You know what I mean? That ain't gonna bother you as much. You got yours now. So, the Bills are making sure all that stuff is in line. You got Josh Allen contract coming up. We know that's not gonna be walking apart with that contract. You got
Russo.
Tremaine Edmonds, who's going to have $150 million contract, more likely, if not more. So you got to look at that. The Bills are potentially is going to have 3 $100 million players on the roster at one time.
which you need.
Doesn't
Right.
Micah Hyde have a contract
Right.
year coming up? I think 1 or 2 years from now. Hyde and Poyer. One
Now
of them.
you would see. I would extend Micah. You know, I'll next year I'll extend Micah. That way he'll still have 2 years left. He can retire by then. We go draft a guy. You know, or we can. You know, I don't know who I was talking to before. You can potentially slide Poyer, you know, in Micah's role, you know, just to stretch some things out. And, you know, it's ways to move around that. But right now, the Bills are young and just about everybody will be under contract. We just got to focus on Tre'Davious. You got to get Dawkins, and then you got to figure out what's going on with Milano and Dawkins. Those are the top two
All
right
right. With that being said, let me read some comments.
What?
Devon, I will get right to you. I promise.
What?
Let me read some of these comments.
now. I don't see it.
I
So I
still
need
don't
to-
understand why they ain't use Micah as trade bait to get Minka Fitzpatrick, but whatever.
Interesting thought. Let me read these comments. So first and foremost, I want to make it clear. As much as TC Casey is controversial, TC Casey is not running from the battle. Okay, I just want to let you know that right now.
Oh yeah, he told me he was on his way home so he could set up this was about 30 minutes ago. So he was on his way home from work to set up. So hey.
Listen, he was here this morning as well. I just want to put that out there. He is not running from this battle, but I do have Dallas Oliver who's going to be in this battle too because I feel a tag team coming on. Man, listen, it's going to get real. So many Bills fans are straight up morons. That's real. As Ricky Graves is funny. Ramona, what's going on? What's going on, Melissa? Pats have no receivers. They have running quarterback now, said Chuck Thomas. Chuck Thomas said, how many Pats have opted out on that defense? Chuck Thomas said, Edelman, Sanu, rookie tight ends, really rookie wide receiver since he was out last year in Kill Harry. Yeah, interesting. Dalton Smith said, Brian Dabble was a good tight end coach but a terrible OC. I could agree with that. Chuck Thomas said, Snowman. Yeah, Dallas Oliver, absolutely. He was right about that. We all agree with that. Chuck Thomas says Snowman. Yuri said Milano. Ramona Dye said Milano was going to leave. Milano gets it first. He's been balling. Watch, said Ricky Graves. Deion Dawkins should get paid first, said Dalton Smith. Ernest, what up, OG? OG is in the building. Good afternoon. Eddie, what's good? Both equally because underestimate Milano and see how good he's been balling. Some people somewhat knew that Edmonds would be good, but not in his first year. They're both equal, though. Milano deserves it more than Deion. They said, okay, all right. So it is very interesting. I think it's Deion Dawkins, obviously, because of importance. Offensive line is obviously important. If you have not watched Blindside before, I mean, it's kind of an older movie. You should. It pretty much put offensive linemen on the map, in which offensive linemen will continuously get paid. Of importance, probably first or second. That's like your first or second, like real position that you worry about the most when it comes to a football team.
Just ask Tom Brady about not having a blindside blocker when Isaiah Wynn went down last year, and they ended up having Marshall Newhouse off the street playing at left tackle. Man, I just call that boy Marshall Turnstile. He just went Brady was just getting lit up. Then Isaiah Wynn came back. Huge difference. The pressure wasn't coming on Brady's back every 2 seconds. Huge difference. You got to get your
right. Absolutely.
That's very admirable of you to point out. I like
Marshall
the turn.
Newhouse
I like the turnstile metaphor. That's pretty dope.
It's horrible. He's just like that's
Yeah,
or we can call it the Earl Thomas. We can call it the Earl Thomas way. Okay.
Well, that's all right. Isaiah Wynn gonna be the matador this year.
Yeah, I like to
if he
call it
stay
the
healthy, because I really like his game.
I like the doorknob.
It's gonna be a lot of Olan when they play us.
I like the doorknob analogy because everybody gets to turn him.
Everybody gets the turn. Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's talk about something else real quick. This wasn't on the docket, but we will talk about this on the docket.
Hey Dre,
I'm trying my best.
Dre, sidebar. They should pay Matt Milano first.
Ooh. Explain why. I want to hear this.
Because Deion Dawkins needs to get out of there. They need to trade him.
But can you guarantee you're going to find a better left tackle in the draft, free agency? You think about how overpaid players are.
I am one to think that there are offensive linemen both in free agency and in retirement that will be willing to come back for one season that could hold that down until we do get a linebacker.
But linemen get overpaid the most in free agency, I would argue. So are you really going to find someone if they're better than Deion Dawkins?
I'm not gonna. I know someone that is out there that will be willing to come back for a decent amount of pay, but I'm not about to jinx it. But I know somebody that's out there right now that has been in conversation with two different teams. So
spill the beans. Who is
it? Nope, because I don't want to jinx it because I want it to happen.
Who's it, Ruben Brown?
Oh, Ruben Brown.
It's my boy Rube.
All right. Dalton said he agreed. Ramona is cracking up using Carmelo logic doorknobs because Ramona said Milano last. Absolutely. I don't think he's getting paid before Deion, but it's all good. Ron Enix is in the house. Hey, Ron Enix, what's going on, brother? What's going on?
There won't be that many trades this year.
They need to trade Deion to Cleveland.
How you going to trade your left tackle?
They got tackles in Cleveland.
You're a bastard of the team. Like, how you going to trade that?
Trade Deion to Cleveland with his gold hair so he could be with his gold hair buddy Odell.
They don't need a left tackle. They got tackles. They got Jack.
They need a right tackle. Okay. All right.
Right.
No, go ahead.
No.
You worry about the Bears and who they trade. Don't worry about
my offensive line doesn't require a trade. Sorry, we're good.
Offensive line don't require a trade neither.
Not at all. We're good.
That's how you feel. Why should we get rid of
We're good. Trust me.
Maybe a right tackle.
Yeah, we good.
Maybe
it's not a maybe. They need Cleveland needs a right tackle, and they got draft picks.
Get rid of our left tackle. That don't even make any sense. So you just want they got draft picks, and they got two left tackles that we can get rid of one of.
Jack Conklin's a right tackle. They just signed him.
Right.
What
you talking about?
Devon?
They got two left tackles. They can get rid of one of them, and both of their left tackles are better than Deion Dawkins.
Why would they? No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Deion Dawkins is very average. I can get with Devon on that one. He's like 50.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you. Yes, he is.
Okay, well, we're not trading him then. All right, so he's average. We like his average, but right in Buffalo. Don't worry about it.
He's average, but average is still serviceable.
Listen, don't worry about it. He might be average to y'all, but right here in One Bills Drive, he's right up at the top. So we ain't worried about none of that y'all talking
about. No, I agree with you.
Worry about trading y'all players. Worry about trading y'all New England players. So y'all need to make
Mookie, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying he is average overall, but the left tackle spot is so important that even an average player is, because that position is of such high value of importance to any team, like asked Brady last year about Marshall Newhouse, that his average, his value to you is much higher because average is good enough to get it done because there's so many
the Bills need to be making a phone call to a guy named
Marshall
Jake.
Newhouse out there.
We just brought in Brian Winters from the Jets, man.
Yes, you know I mean? That's a great signing.
So yeah, we don't need you. Worry about the Chicago Bears line, okay? That's what you do. Don't worry about our line.
Okay.
Our starters is back. So why would we get rid of it? That don't even make any sense. We're back. Our whole offensive line is back. You don't get rid of that.
The Bills need to be on the phone to a guy named Jake, and I'm gonna leave it there.
From State Farm, we already got him.
You could clown if you want. I'm telling you. A guy named Jake won a shot at a Super Bowl.
We got Brian Winters for $2 million guaranteed.
That's a good deal for you.
Great deal.
He was the best pass blocker the Jets had, and I had Jets fans light me up on Twitter saying that Alex Lewis, Connor McGovern, Adoga, and everybody, Chuma Adoga was better than Brian Winters, and I wasn't even close. I'm like, you guys don't even know about your own team. I mean, honestly, he was their best blocker.
All right, so don't worry about our O line. Our O line good. All right, we good. Everybody's under contract. We fine. Don't
Maybe a
worry about
little weak
Chicago
at right
Bears.
tackle.
They're so good that
Maybe a
even
little weak at right tackle,
Hey,
but other than that, I'll
Milano and
agree with
Trey
that.
Dion Dawkins, y'all doing too much.
All
oh
right, this is what I will say too. The draft, I think, is a little weak this next go round, but I know in 2022 there's supposed to be a whole hell of a lot of offensive linemen coming out of that draft. I was reading an article with like 15 to 17 offensive linemen may come out within the first 2 rounds. So that's very interesting. I think Deion Dawkins should stay anyway, just because of the continuity and the chemistry that he has with Buffalo. If you could get him for 12 to 13, 12 to 14, I mean, that would be great for the Bills. I mean, the
I feel like
Bills
that's
have a
elite
great.
I don't
money. That's like
understand
Trent Brown
how
got 14 to 15
your
million a year.
offensive line is so good, but you as a rushing quarterback, you still took 38 sacks. That's so good. But okay. Moving on. A running quarterback took 38 sacks. But your offensive line is good.
Their
Yeah,
O
we
line
good.
is good. They were
We
a
all
little
right.
banged up last year.
Hey,
Same as
look,
the
that was
Pats.
the first year playing with each other. That was the first year playing with each other.
No, that was last year. The 28 sacks was the first year. But
No.
They had a whole different
They had
offensive
a whole
line.
different offensive line, bro.
I see. I see what you're saying. Okay, okay. I retract that comment.
Right,
But yeah.
right. So and they still was shuffling.
So
right
you
guards.
chalking it up to chemistry?
Right.
Heard. Okay.
Right.
All right,
Okay. I chalk it up to trash and Brian Dabble, but heard.
The whole line is back. You don't get that anywhere unless you in Dallas, just about. Right? Like the whole offensive line is back.
Come on, don't minimize it. You get it in New England
too. With the quarterback back, who's really in his second year at the helm. To me, in my eyes, I don't count his rookie year. He came in week 4, week 3, week 4, whatever. But this is his second full season. You know what I mean, with the offensive line again.
Bro, he lost his starting job to Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, that was I don't even want to get into that.
We'll so past that. Later, I'm sure.
Yo, Mook. Can I just say that I was the one who called that year before? I was the one who called that Nathan Peterman.
Nathan Peterman won the job because every game he played in, he played with the ones first. Everybody else played like Josh Allen.
He played with the ones first because he played in practice better than Josh Allen smelled.
No, Josh last game he played with the threes and it was horrible. Like he didn't do well. So he already had the
he didn't perform in practice either. Let's not act like that. Like the stories leaking out to the press wasn't true, bro. He was trash in practice.
You see him hide my face. You see him hide my face.
But
he was a joke in practice.
That's why they had to clean that up.
Now, what I will say is there have been astronomical strides since then.
They cleaned that up.
They definitely cleaned it up for sure. They definitely cleaned it up.
When you coming right in, being a first year coach and all that stuff, you don't want to bring. The cliche is, we're going to develop him and all that stuff. But sometimes in some teams, that guy needs to get out there on the field right away. You know what I mean? Is Baker Mayfield playing his first year? I feel if I'm drafting a quarterback in the top 10, he's out there on the field. He's not going to sit. Who is he? I can see if it is Aaron Rodgers or, or Drew Brees or somebody, he got to sit behind somebody like that. But he's not sitting behind Nathan Peterman. He's not sitting behind AJ McCarron. He's not sitting behind nobody if I draft this guy top 10.
Mookie, your cousin better not sit behind.
Right.
Okay? That's all I'm saying. You better not sit behind him. Let me read some comments. Let me read some more comments. Dallas Oliver is in the building. D. Stanfield in the building. Mookie Hawkins is in the house, obviously, with the fire starter. We fire started some stuff. I just got a message from TC Casey saying he's trying his best to get in there. So we'll see. He'll be here shortly.
I doubt he's gonna make it given what he's currently doing right now. So it's looking like probably like next week. So
Chuck Thomas said, "I love Dallas." He actually having to talk to other teams this season. I actually see the Dolphins taking control of the division in 2022 through 2025. They built through the draft, and its quarterback stays healthy. Another top wide receiver.
Who predicted the future right now? Who predicting the future? Like, who's the
That's my
genie
man
over
Buck
there?
Blair in the house. Did
2005.
Tell him to predict who's going to be the vice presidential candidate. Joe Biden too. Why he's at it since he.
Come on.
The offensive line can always improve at any time, said Ernest.
It
Josh
can't.
Allen.
No, it can't.
At right tackle, it could.
Right tackle, yeah, but anything on the left?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, Mookie, Marcus Betts said you are the president of the Josh Allen fan club. Actually, it's interesting because TC Casey is in the comments. He said Houdini. Uh-oh. Does that mean Houdini is going to pop up very shortly? Very shortly? While we're talking about positions, we might as well talk about this. This wasn't on the docket, but we'll talk about this because I'm trying to say these battles for Houdini right now. Get in here. Let's talk about predicting who and who ain't going to make, who's not going to make the roster. Who's not making the roster? Let's just talk about that. Who's not making the roster? Who's getting cut? Who's not making the roster? I'll start with Mookie, just because.
Well, I think more or less what this is going to really do, because preseason we know those starters, those guys really ain't playing. They playing a series or two. They're gonna go hard. As we're not gonna ever question a player's ability not to go hard out there. But now the coaches have to create the competition, to make a fair evaluation because there are no preseason games. So look for, the intensity levels to be turned up, in these following weeks. How they're going to create the competition, they're going to be doing some one-on-ones and more, 7-on-7s and, things of that nature to, get a fair, evaluation on playing in high pressure situations, how they're going to create that. So I think it's going to be a little bit more old school and reference how these guys making the evaluations due to that fact. So, Trent Murphy, we already know that Trent Murphy is like really high on the list. He's been average at best at what he's being paid. And, hey, you drafted, your top pick was a defensive end, 6'6", 280. Hey, if he comes to camp ready to go and he's picking up that playbook, that really right there can make Trent Murphy expendable. Due to the fact when they really start doing these one-on-ones, because there's going to be some intense practices. It's really going to be some intense practices. So a guy you can really see first out the door is Trent Murphy.
Do you have any surprise cuts?
I would have said Hauschka, but it's no preseason, so I don't think so. But then again, you got to look at it now too, because the salary cap thing then came down now, so that the Bills expecting to have some extra cash to play with for next year. I don't think they have it, so they start looking at that as well. Who's a cap casualty at this point? Who we should be moving on. They drafted Tyler Bass, so you got to look at the scope of things on where they at with certain players. Trent Murphy, top pick drafted. Hauschka, hey, they drafted a kicker. Not too many teams draft kickers. So those are guys that's knocking on those positions doors as next man up. So, that'll be my surprise is house money. But, we love him here. I don't think he's going nowhere.
Devon Stanfield. Surprise cut. Who's coming off? Who's coming off the Bills team? Who's coming off the roster?
He gonna say Deion Dawkins or something like that. I don't know.
Your mic is muted.
That's probably because I just said some real slick some real slick stuff right after Mookie said it too. Uh,
Dallas has already got some in mind. I'm going to him next.
Got a few.
Yeah. I will name one right off the jump. TJ Yeldon is out.
That's not a surprise.
No, that's not a surprise. I'm just talking about people who should be out. TJ Yeldon is one. I agree with the Trent Murphy situation. That's another.
I think Star's on his way out.
Even though he renegotiated?
Yeah, I think he's done.
I could agree with that. I thought that they should have cut him right after the whole opt-out.
They ain't gotta cut him this year because he don't get no money. You get 150.
Yeah.
150? Hold on. Count the money.
you get $150 this year. So next
Hold
year,
on. Count the money. 20s and 50s.
And I tell you what, if the Bills rack this thing off, win Super Bowl, he will be cut.
He need to be. I mean,
he will be cut like right after they win it. Like, okay, that's not even. Here you go. But
I mean,
that's a possibility.
I mean, resign. I'm never trying to. I'm never trying to
Trey White, right? You said
you got to try. You got to sign Trey. I'm never about like losing somebody for nothing, but I don't see anybody clamoring for Star's
acumen,
his acumen, and his skill set across the league. So I don't see how you can make a trade for him and get anything.
Who you trying to trade down?
No, I'm saying I don't see how you could Star. I'm saying they should have.
Right. I mean, he has value right now.
He has value, but it's not nobody that's desperate enough to give us a 4th or 5th rounder for him. So
and they ain't willing to pay him no $8 million.
I think New England would. He's a great rotational depth piece, and Belichick loves line depth.
Yeah, but he ain't worth. But he's not worth a 4th rounder. Belichick could be talking about a 6th rounder, and that's disrespectful.
I think he's worth a 4. I mean, come on, Bo Allen got like $2 or $3 million from us, and he's a rotational depth piece at best. But if he was on the trade market, he would have got.
Not getting a 4th rounder for Star not right now. And then even if you did give up a 4th rounder, then Belichick's smart enough to try to offload one of his bigger contracts. And then we can't take that, so we be right back at phase 1, and then possibly be worse off.
Well, he's opted out this year, so ain't nothing happening with Starler Tulu this year at all.
Marcus Bet said TJ Yeldon. Obviously, we agree on that.
Yeah, nobody's surprised by the TJ Yeldon getting cut.
So who's going to take his spot? We got the running back from.
We got Ito Smith. We got Ito, right?
No, I think he's still in Atlanta. I thought.
No, we ain't got Ito.
Yeah, Ito's in Atlanta. He's in front of Kadri. That's right.
We got Chris Wade and Zach Moss.
We got Zach. Yes, we got Zach Moss, Devin Singletary,
Christian
Wade. What the hell do we need?
Christian Wade is going to be on the exempt list again.
Well,
you think so? Why?
Because they can hold him on a roster for 2 years like that.
I wouldn't. I would play him. I would see what he about. I would see what he made of right now.
Don't worry, he's gonna get his shot, and everybody's gonna get a real evaluation now because there's no preseason game. So practices is gonna be more intense than I kind of like that idea. You know what I mean? But it's just that we won't get the chance to see it. You know what I mean? But
they're not letting the media at the scrimmages.
Probably not because it's gonna be indoor. But they got some stuff where we can see.
That's ass fucking backwards. Why would you not do the scrimmages outdoors now just so you can? Sorry about the profanity.
Well, I mean that's a possibility, but something like that they like to keep. They can't reveal everything. You know what I mean?
I'm talking about the team-to-team scrimmages.
I mean, they're not gonna show you that, right?
Who's our scrimmage partner this year anyway?
Ain't no scrimmage partners. All that is done.
Oh, that's all dead. That's right.
It's dead.
Dang.
No scrimmage partners. So if I don't have to show you anything in my scheme or anything like that, I ain't about to show you nothing.
Not if we going full speed from day one.
We not about to do
Not
that.
about to
So
Belichick me.
I'm just thinking as a coach at this point. I'm not. Yeah, we going indoors.
Don't look to the side, Dallas. You heard what I said.
I mean, but hey, it might be. I mean, like I said, practices is going to be intense whether they're indoors or outdoors. So maybe if they might have some heated battles out there, we get the opportunity to see it. But it has to be outside. They're not.
Okay.
They're not allowing media to come inside. We'll have to take a temperature check. When we're going outside, we still have to take temperature checks. So.
Look who just joined in, straight out of the church building. Ethan.
Milcom, my man Milcom is in the building.
What's up, guys?
That's the same thing they be saying on Wesley Pipes' videos. Anyway.
There you go. All right. What
Sunday, man?
Right. The Lord.
Hey, the Bible says the same in the light as in the dark. I'm not changing.
Oh, here you go. Here you go. TC Casey said Buffalo has no scheme. Josh can't read a defense. TC Casey,
Josh has gotten a lot better at reading defenses. It's just him getting the ball. Josh hasn't made nearly the same amount of mistakes that he's made in the past. I'm not advocating for him as a franchise quarterback yet, but let's not. But the reading defenses thing, he's taken hella strides.
Why do people get things confused about who Josh Allen is?
Yeah,
I don't understand. I mean, do y'all want him to be Peyton Manning? He's not Peyton Manning. I don't understand.
Yeah, we be acting like he about to go out going on the field with 5 plays on his repertoire and choose which play to. That's not.
That's why I say, like, do y'all guys, is Josh Allen the guy y'all love to hate because y'all don't want to give him his props? Y'all ridicule him on things that we know that he needs to work on, just like any other quarterback in the NFL.
Well, Mookie, guess what?
Wow.
TC Casey will be home in 5 minutes. In which
because I don't hear y'all talk about Baker Mayfield the way y'all talk about Josh.
I don't hear y'all. Well, clearly you haven't been paying attention to Fresh Perspective because we light up Baker Mayfield almost every week.
Y'all light him up, but everybody else
do. Definitely.
We light him up almost every single week.
Shout out to Walter Ray,
number 1 pick, and he started. When he didn't, because he had to fake sit down too behind Tyrod.
It wasn't no fake sit down.
True, you're right.
Yeah, it wasn't no fake.
He needed to sit down. He needed to sit down, as was evident by last year's performance.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Listen.
I still ain't letting him off the hook for how he treated Hugh Jackson. I don't think I'm ever letting him off of the hook for that crap.
I didn't respect that, man. You ain't got nothing, no strikes to even say anything to that.
Yeah.
Man. He the one that drafted you. That was corny to me. Like, he made you the number 1 overall pick, dude. You didn't think you was going to Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a fact, Mookie. That's a fact.
And then you sit up there and you talk bad about that man, like. That's some concerns to me. Like, who y'all, the type of guy y'all dealing with. Is he really loyal? Is he's a two-faced guy like that? Wow, we'll see how toxic they be this year because he gonna say something foxy about Odell, and it's gonna be a wrap. That's gonna play the only.
It's easy to do that when you winning, like he was winning that year when he was gone. But now that you losing. All your everything that you say out your mouth is coming back to smack you in your face. And instead of extending his hand to shake your hand at the end of that football game, Hugh should have smacked you in your face.
So all right, so here's what the comment section says. It says bad decision making. I don't know who that is. Bad decision making, turnover, where Josh Allen will improve.
Quarterback Tre'Davious White opted in.
Michelle Visa in the house with the Visa report.
Was released by the Jets last week. In order to make room on the roster, veteran guard Spencer Long was released. The Bills actually saved $2.75 million by cutting Long, which was just about the same amount the Bills used to sign Winters. During week 1, players had to clear COVID testing before straight and
Somebody is in somebody's ear. Somebody is giving somebody the drop.
Yo,
I ain't never heard.
Dre.
I ain't never heard
Wait,
Michelle.
Dre. Who said bad decisions, turnovers? What?
That's Marcus Betts. You know he hates Josh
Yo,
Allen.
listen. Let me tell you something, man. And me and Marcus Betts see the same. We see the same thing about Josh Allen. He's not yet a certified franchise quarterback. Let's be clear on that. Yet. But he threw the ball 120 more times than he did the previous year in his rookie year. He threw the ball 120 more times and only threw 3 less interceptions. That's first and foremost, right? Secondly, his completion percentage went up by 6%, went 52 to 58%.
Almost 59. So
yes, he fumbled the ball more. Yes, he took more sacks, but he dropped back 120 more times than he did in the previous year.
Which is the reason why he took more sacks, because they was trying to get him.
On top of the fact that, like y'all said, this is his first year with his offensive line.
Yeah. Plus, they was trying to get him out of the fact of running all the time, because everybody was scared Josh Allen was going to take it.
So let's not act like there's not continuous improvement going on with this guy. It definitely is, and I'm one that can appreciate that, because let's be clear. If I'm honest, Mitchell Trubisky took a step back last year.
Thank you.
That's my guy.
I try to tell people that they didn't want to hear me.
So and I'll be honest, Mitch took a step back last year and he was injured, but I mean it was his off throwing arm. It wasn't his throwing arm, it was his off arm. So I mean, some of that you could say, yeah, he was probably in pain, but a lot of that, it's not affecting your ability to get the ball to the player and your ability to make smart decisions. So I mean, Josh Allen, if I'm keeping it a buck, he has an opportunity. He has an opportunity this year to set himself apart from the majority of AFC quarterbacks if he continues along the progress that he's making, not only because of his work ethic, which has been pointed out by various members of the team, but because now he has a certified number 1 receiver, a certified number 2 receiver, and a slot person that you can definitely count on night in and night out. So if the offensive line gives him the 3.5 to 3.8 seconds that he deserves, the league could be in trouble. I'll just leave it at that.
Let's keep it real. All right.
Can I give my surprise cut?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Had a lot of time to think about it. So yeah, obviously TJ Yeldon is not really a surprise, but it would be a surprise for me because I personally like to keep 4 backs. I think you have a 4-headed monster running back. You do that by committee, but they could get rid of him. I'm not sure if Robert Foster, the receiver, is still on their roster, but with he's a nice piece, but I feel like with his salary, I think it's over $2 million, and with the now the trifecta, Beasley, Brown, and Diggs, he could be the odd man out. And then you look at the offensive line, they've got Quentin Spain at left guard, but now with the pickup of Brian Winters, you slate him in as the starting right guard. They could save, I believe, $3.5 to $4 million by cutting John Feliciano. I'm not sure if Feliciano is better than Winters. And you're not going to put him over Spain. And I think Winters is better than him. So you could look at Feliciano going. Trent Murphy may not get cut. He may end up being a backup to Epinesa. But I think you want as much depth on your D-line as possible. But I think Yeldon, Feliciano, and Foster would be my
3. That's a hell of an assessment.
The Foster piece, I'm not buying that. But everything else he said,
he's on the bubble.
That's why they call it a surprise cut.
But Mr. Williams got to show up. We still got Mr. Williams in the inventory.
Duke and Foster are like the 2 that's on the bubble due to the fact that the Bills have drafted Isaiah Hodgins and Gabe Davis. You know what I mean? So those are the 2. Then you still got Isaiah McKenzie, in that mix. So you got Foster, McKenzie, Duke Williams, Robert Foster, and basically Hodgins. At this point.
They also have Andre Roberts.
Yeah, and they still have Andre Roberts.
He's not really a receiver, but he takes up a receiver body on the depth chart.
Exactly. So that's a question too. And he's 31, 32 years old. But what he does give you is assurance in special teams. He's
like Matthew Slater for New England.
Yeah, he's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to make sure he fills the ball, put our offense in good position. and he's gonna make good decisions on returning kicks and punts. So that's why the Bills got him back there. A veteran guy, but we thought Isaiah McKenzie would have took it last year, but he wasn't. He wasn't ready. So
Why wouldn't you put Tre'Davious back there?
nah, he's strictly corner. Why are you gonna put him back there and risk injury? Him returning the kick and get hit on the knee or something. So right.
Okay.
Why you think Micah Hyde ain't returning kicks here no more? He never did that. He became strictly play safety. He's returning kicks and punts at Green Bay.
Why do you think we went away from Edelman returning kicks and punts? He could still do it. He's still agile enough, but we brought in Gunnar Olszewski, who is strictly punt return and special teams because same thing when we had Welker doing it, and then we started using Edelman when he was playing on defense and special teams because we didn't want to risk injury to Welker with his ankle.
Right. You can't do that. You get a younger guy to do it, but not your guys you paying big money to.
Okay. All right.
Mookie Hawkins.
He dangerous.
He loves those glasses, by the way.
Thank you. These are my infrared. These are my training camp reds. If we was able to be at training camp, some days I will, but I will be rocking my training camp.
Right, those are the Iceberg Slim Specials. That's what they are.
Iceberg
Slim Specials.
Shout out to Carrera for that shameless plug.
Ask Mookie to show you his pinky finger. If it's longer than a quarter of an inch, we got a whole nother set of problems.
True. It's true. He got on that.
What's up, Ben?
But
all right. Melissa said Melissa is definitely eager to see TC come on the show. Melissa, what's going on? Shout out to you, Ms. Bowden.
Ask Melissa, did she get her book yet?
There's your question, Melissa. Did you get your book yet? All right. Here's something I'm gonna say too. Carlo said, "Yeah, those are some fly glasses, brother. Definitely. He was on his bands to make her dance routine." All right. Here's another question, real quick. I'm just gonna ask this real fast. As far as the defense is concerned, who would you start on the line? Who is your front seven looking like? We talk about scheme. We talk about a lot of scheme. Leslie Frazier is phenomenal with scheme. What does your front seven look like to start the season? Mookie Hawkins, I'll start with you. Then I'll start with Dallas and D. Stanford.
What would be my starting seven?
Yeah, your front seven. I need to know. We know what the back end is going to look like.
On the defense?
Yeah.
Let's see. Right now, you have Jerry Hughes, Ed Oliver, Harrison Phillips, and Mario Addison right now. The Bills, they play, it's only really two linebackers, which would be Milano and Manny Savage. That nickel guy, that nickel, that's going to be the biggest, that nickel and that linebacker. We know AJ Klein will be the next guy in as far as a weak side linebacker, but a lot of teams play three receiver sets, so it's going to be a nickel back out there with two linebackers, than opposed to three linebackers in the 7-man front. So that nickel back, man. I mean, Teron Johnson was the guy last year. In that position, more or less, in the days of Carolina, you would see a guy like Shaq Thompson, or I would like to see the Bills bring in Mark Barron, a guy that would be real suitable for that spot. That is available out there, but right now that job is going to be between Saran Neal and Teron Johnson right now at this point. So I have to get Teron Johnson the nod on that right now due to the fact that he did start, but you got AJ Klein and then you got Teron Johnson right now. That's on the depth chart.
All right. Dallas, what's your front seven looking like?
Well, I think you should start with Lefton. Obviously, I mean, it's tough because John Simon and Chase Winovich both play a lot of down sets on the D line. But they also move it to linebacker. They're kind of positionless. I think you keep Simon on the D line at your left at your end spot. Probably your two nose tackles are going to be Lawrence Guy and Adam Butler. And shout out to Lawrence Guy, one of the most underrated nose tackles in the league, but consistently a great run stuffer. Right ends are a little weak. You're probably going to have Dietrich Wise. We'll see if he can have a breakout year. Outside linebacker, you'll probably have Jawan Bentley, even though he's drafted as a middle linebacker from Purdue. He's got the speed and the mobility, I think, to play on the outside to fill the hole left by Kyle Van Noy. Or maybe keep him in the middle. I'm not really sure what they'll do at linebacker. With Hightower's opt-out and Van Noy leaving, that kind of killed us. You'll probably have Bentley in the middle. You'll have Chase Winovich, most likely on the right outside. And you'll probably see a combination of Copeland and Josh Uche from Michigan. But right now, I probably would say Copeland will be your starting outside left backer. So you'll probably have Winovich, Bentley, and Copeland in the linebacking spots.
All right. Devon Stanfield.
We doing Buffalo or our particular teams?
No, you doing Buffalo. You doing Buffalo.
So I don't get to do my Bears line.
No,
Nah, this is not Bears versus the Packers edition.
All right. Okay.
It's coming though. It's coming. It's coming.
I got you. Yeah, because we always.
Oh yeah, that's coming on the Monday night.
I am in agreement with everything that Mookie said, except for I don't understand how you got Harrison Phillips over Vernon Butler.
Right. You're right. When I said that, I thought about that. I was like, nah, they need a bigger body to replace. Like Starr's a bigger guy, gap run stuffer. You know what I mean? Vernon Butler more or less fit that mold than Harrison Phillips. So I agree.
That's everything else. I'm in 100% agreement with, especially the linebacker explanation. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, I would like to see what's up with Mark Barron right there. Now that, put Mark Barron out there with Savage, Milano, that back end, man. I don't know, man. Y'all gonna put some respect on it sooner or later.
Yeah, savagery.
So Maine Savage, tell us a little bit about Maine Savage. This is somebody a lot of people I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, but let's talk about Maine Savage. How do you feel about Maine Savage, Mookie Hawkins?
Maine Savage is a monster. Just a straight monster. Everybody, I'm waiting to see him now because like they keep talking like he's 6'8" now or something like that. Like, the past couple of meetings, a few guys they spoke of him in reference to being 6'8". I don't know if he got taller or what. I mean, he just turned 21, so you still growing a little bit there, on the back end side of things. So this guy is really 6'8". That's like some video game stuff, man. It was 6'8" linebacker running around here, but the best is yet to come for Mr. Maine Savage, man. I think he had a Pro Bowl year. I think he follows that up with a great season this year. Sky's the limit for that guy. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit, man. He ain't afraid to get nosy, and that's a good thing about him. Like he is not afraid to go in there and meet you in that hole or cover. So I mean, like I said, he's going to be paid anywhere between 150 to 160 million when his contract is up. So far so good with Maine Savage right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I see Mario Addison obviously starting, especially with Trent Murphy being on the bubble. As far as is he going to be on the team or not? So Mario Addison first.
But go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I want to hear your thought.
You look at it though, it's like, do the Bills really start with Addison and Jerry Hughes on first down?
See, that's my
thing. You're looking at two pass rushers that's like 255, 260 tops. So you probably want to put that run stuffer. That's why I say you may see Espinoza at 6'6", 280. You know what I mean? Like he
See,
has
now
to he
no,
has
I'm
the
glad that you
mold.
said that.
You know what I mean? He has the mold that he eventually could start that, and then you bring Addison in on pass rush situations.
See, that's very interesting because I probably would put Ebenezer on first down at the right position to let Jerry Hughes be situational so that he can be
Yeah.
more efficient with his pass rushing on second and third downs. I definitely would have Jerry Hughes in a situational, second, third down situation. You already know, obviously, you got Tremaine Edmonds and Milano playing the middle and that left. And that left, obviously, the right, you probably gonna have AJ Klein in there. You
Yeah.
probably gonna slide AJ Klein in there. Boshawn Joseph will probably come right after him.
Yo, Mookie,
Hmm?
I got a question for you and Dre. A legit question. Does Lorenzo belong on the Buffalo Bills Wall of Fame?
Can I finish my first front seven before we get into this?
No,
Because
I'm gonna tell you where it came from because I never understood why. Well, I still don't understand. Right now, I shouldn't say never because it just happened, but I don't understand why Espinosa gets to wear Zoe's number right off the rip.
okay, respect it. Now here's a question. I got a back question for you on that.
He didn't
If,
get drafted by the Bills. He didn't get drafted by the Bills.
right. So here's the other back question.
Okay, that's fine.
And this is just for those in the back cave right now. Is Kyle Williams on the wall?
I think eventually, yeah, he'll be on the wall.
Listen, before they do all that, they better put Cornelius Bennett on the wall.
Exactly.
Fact
That's
Mungo.
what I'm
Talking about all these other players.
What
They
is
better
with
put the
that?
biscuit gotta be on the wall.
Why is Cornelius Bennett not on the wall?
That's why I asked that question. That's exactly why.
Next to be on that wall. Don't worry, they're gonna fix it.
They
gonna fix that.
Yo, we talk about like it's well deserved. We talk about Bruce Smith like he is a Buffalo god, and he is. He's a Buffalo. He's a pillar of what our defense was able to accomplish back in that day. But without Cornelius Bennett on that other side, them double and triple teams would have been coming.
That just took it to the next level. When we made that trade for him, that just took the Bills to a whole nother level. Because now you couldn't double. It was over. Like who you gonna double? You can't double with either one of those dudes.
Either one of them. and it's great that you brought up Cornelius because he didn't start out with us, just like Renzo.
True. But you gotta understand though, that guy was a Pro Bowler. He was an All Pro. We went to Super Bowls. Like those guys that took us to the promised land should be honored on that wall.
I agree. I agree 100%. I just think
everybody's on there right now. You figure that Hall of Famers, Biscuit and Steve Tasker should be next in line. You know, it should be next in line after that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Then you got to talk about Daryl Talley. I feel Daryl Talley should be on the wall before Kyle Williams. And he didn't get drafted by the Bills, but I mean, he was our ambassador for all them Super Bowl runs. Those guys got to get honored and glorified as one of the Bills' gods, man, because that's what they were. You know what I mean? They're still treated as such when they walk around. You know what I mean?
I'm with you 100% on the Daryl Talley thing. It's just that every time I think about Daryl Talley, I think about them teeth and that Jerry curl, and I just can't get it out my head.
He's the first one rocking the Spider-Man, joints though.
Yeah.
Spider-Man out there.
Yeah,
all right,
man.
So here I'll finish this quick front seven so y'all can get back to it because I'm gonna ask Dallas too who he thinks should be on his wall. Mario Addison, I think Ed Oliver is obviously going to share reps with Quentin Jefferson. Obviously, they also do have Vincent Taylor as well. Vernon Butler should definitely big body guy should be in there. So there's your seven: Addison, Oliver, Butler, Hughes, Klein, Edmonds, Milano. But again, AJ Epinesa probably should be in there on rundowns first, third and shorts, things of that nature. I would have Epinesa in there. Jerry Hughes would be situational. Too bad we couldn't keep Lorenzo for another year. He stayed an extra year, actually, for those who don't know. He stayed an extra year.
Another cutoff, another interception, Dre. If the Bills is 8-0, linebacker goes down. Do you think they get Lorenzo off the couch? Do Lorenzo come off the couch to make this run?
Yo, listen,
Do
I
you
would
make
I would
this
take him
run? Do
off
you
the
come off
couch.
the couch to make this run? I mean, you
Yeah.
know, did you retire too soon? You know, at this rate, it Bills record, being 6-2 or something like that, first 8 games, and man, it just looked like they're in the driver's seat. Hey, do Zoe entertain the thought on coming back and ride that thing all the way out?
Facts. Yeah, I think Lorenzo Allen, that would be nice. That would be really nice. Now, Dallas Oliver, let me ask you, anybody who you think should be on your wall that ain't on the wall, real quick.
Bill
Let's have.
Parcells.
Oh, you said that quick. Oh, you had that locked and loaded in your shotgun, ready to fire. That was too fast. Bill Parcells.
Yes, because of the most recent round of voting for the Patriots Hall of Fame, you got guys like Leon Gray, who finally got in, amongst some of the older legends. But Bill Parcells just can't seem to get any respect. It's like, I don't know, Bill Parcells,
because of
like
how
the
he
Rodney
left your
Dangerfield
organization.
thing. I can't get no respect.
Because of how he left your organization.
Okay, but I'm not looking at the way he left the organization. The way I'm looking at it is they achieved some form of relevancy, and they were actually a very successful team while he was there. He got Adam Vinatieri in there his rookie year. They go to the Super Bowl. Yes, they lost to Green Bay, but they hadn't achieved any kind of relevancy since they had gotten down there to the Bears and got absolutely just smacked like anybody would have. But they were a complete laughingstock before Parcells got there, and he got Drew Bledsoe in there. He got Vinatieri in there. He set them up. He set them up for the future for when Belichick came in. And essentially, he was not the first version of Belichick, but because Bill worked under Parcells with the Giants, he took the best parts of Parcells and parlayed it into the run that we've seen. But without Parcells, I don't believe there is any eventual run with Belichick, because he kind of set the foundation and the culture and proved that we could get to a Super Bowl. So Belichick just took the next step and was able to win it. But people don't give Parcells his due. They forget what he did because we lost to Green Bay.
Facts. All right. Well, guess what? I'm opening up the Q&A segment right now. Q&A time, folks.
So,
Q&A. Go ahead, Devon.
let me get this straight.
Open up Q&A.
Is Troy Vincent Tide Light on your wall of fame? Dallas?
Sorry, what's that?
Is Tide Light or Troy Vincent on your Hall of Fame? Your wall of fame?
I'm not sure. I've only been to the Patriots Hall once. I didn't see. There was a lot of plaques on the wall. I don't remember seeing their names. I know Matt Light is in there, I think.
Because I'm trying to say.
I think Chris Slade is in there too. If Chris Slade isn't in the wall, I think he's in there too on the wall. But if he's not, then he should be.
Ty Law is there. Teddy Bruschi's there. Troy Brown is there.
You see Chris Slade anywhere in there? Because he should be.
Drew Bledsoe, Sam Cunningham, Jim Nantz, Ben Coates, Stan Morgan, Bruce Armstrong, Steve Grogan. Whatever.
Eason too, I think.
Yeah, Eason should be up there. No, he's not.
Wow. I mean, because they don't get to the Super Bowl against the Bears if it's not for both of them, because they used him as the sub in, sub out. They used both of them to get there.
Ray Claiborne, Kevin Falk, Willie McGinnis. So, wow.
All right. So you got people in the comment section saying no Willie McGinnis.
I think he's in there.
Willie McGinnis is in there. Willie McGinnis is in there.
He got it too.
Yeah, Willie McGinnis is a Hall of Famer. He guaranteed to be in there.
Yep, thought so. Definitely thought so on that.
I didn't hear Chris Slade or Lawyer Malloy though. So if you read them all,
Lawyer
those guys-
Malloy is not up there.
Lawyer Malloy and
Ty
Chris
Law
Slade
is
are
there,
both
but Lawyer
Parcells.
Malloy is not up there.
Yeah, Slade is. You said.
No, I said Ty Law is there, but Lawyer Malloy is not
Yeah,
up there.
those are those are three guys that didn't get their due then.
Brewski up there?
Yeah,
was
Brewski. Brewski. You know Brewski.
People
up there,
forget
man.
Chris Slade though, one of the original bad boy linebackers.
All right. So I got a question now to ask Mookie Hawkins. This is a coach's question as far as the secondary for the Buffalo Bills. How do they go about the secondary? Obviously, you have
Drew Bledsoe's up there.
You have Trey White. You got Norman. You got Foyer. You have Micah Hyde. Things of that nature. What are we looking at as like? Are we playing a zone cover this year? Is it a man-to-man? What would be most effective for the Buffalo Bills to be playing this season? And is it different from seasons prior?
No. It's the same scheme that got Coach McDermott the job when he was the DC in Carolina. It's more of a zone blitz scheme. You figure we're going to zone off. For instance, we'll let Trey play man zone, man up, but we'll play zone on Josh's side. That's what makes Tre'Davious. That's how important Tre'Davious White is in this defense, because with him being him allows everybody else to be themselves. So, if we got a guy that's going to lock up potentially a Julio Jones and we could zone out everywhere else, then, that's why the Bills ranked top 3 in pass defense in the past couple of years, because of that scheme. In retrospect, not even getting a lot of sacks. So when you combine, once the sack masters come join the party, then you're going to see a lot more turnovers by the defense, stalemating rather than passing yards. So we just floating underneath the radar this year, but that back end is going to be pretty nasty with that scheme. I would like to see, like I said, if we can get Mark Barron, that'll make the cipher really complete at that nickel spot.
All right. Well, Q&A here. We got some Q&A questions to ask. Q&A. I won't even go to what it looked like in the slide. We'll just say Q&A.
Hey, Mookie, what you gonna do about Levi Wallace?
There we go.
Levi Wallace gonna have to learn from Josh.
I gotta say he's
but
one of the
Don't get me wrong. Levi he came in undrafted. And
he's one of the more disappointing Alabama guys.
He survived. He survived 2 competitions, but it's no comparison to Levi and Josh. So he gets the opportunity to learn from him and be ready. I mean, he's a guy he knows the system, but now he has a guy that he can learn from, and develop some things that's going to make him a better NFL player down the line. So, that's how I would take that if I was Levi Wallace.
Do you think Josh Norman gets comeback player of the year?
Well, he never to get hurt.
Or should I say most improved player of the year on defense?
It's a possibility because he's going to get a lot of targets. I didn't get a chance to shoot my shot with him in the zone room, but I'm quite sure, just by the comments that he said, that he's so revved up now, knowing that the type of team that this is, and heard what he said is like night and day. Buffalo is night and day now. You know what I mean? Got players wanting to come to Buffalo and play because they know what type of mission that they on. So, the competition is at its best right now.
So Phil see what's going on. Shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in. He says, though I already didn't rule out coming back under those exact circumstances when asked last year. Yeah, I remember we asked him last year about that.
If Zoe comes back, then what? Then what we doing?
Well, that's another guy, another leader. You ain't got to worry about it. That job is done.
Bye, Matt.
Nah, I wouldn't bye, Matt.
I'm Michelle. Hey, Bills World. I'm
That was
Michelle
a joke,
Visa.
man. They're not even the same type of LB.
Shout out to Michelle Visa, by the way, too. Mookie, you've been in her ear. I could tell you've been in her ear, giving her the updated analysis, sir. I know you have. Don't even try to deny it either.
Be
This ain't
careful
no
with the nature of that commentary, Dre.
Oh yeah, we've you know we picked up Michelle Visa and we signed her. You know.
Oh, let's go! Waffle, do it. Yes, let's go. By the way, 6 o'clock today, you will be on Waffle Sport Report with Mookie Hawkins.
She's doing a weekly wrap up. That's what she just sent me. So I'm about to
look
put
at
that
that
out there for everybody.
Look at that. And by the way,
Michelle
Firestarter
Visa.
will be there too as well. I'll be there. I'll be there. Mookie Hawkins, you know how we do it. Every other Sunday, straight up. I'm really trying to hold on. Any other questions? Dallas, any questions you want to ask as far as?
I got a question for Dallas. The report out of New England was that they are not changing the offensive scheme in any way, shape, or form for Cam Newton. Do you consider that to be attributed to the fact that he's on a short leash, and if he isn't performing, they're gonna go right to Stidham sooner than later?
It's hard to say what Belichick's ever thinking, but I don't think so. I think they're not going to change the scheme because you've retained guys like Edelman around there, and that's, he's learned to do it a certain way. And the reason they kept guys like Edelman around there while trying to get simultaneously younger at other positions is so he can teach those young guys the way that Belichick wants that scheme done and the nuances to have that veteran leadership. You've got guys like Sanu who are coming back for their first full year in New England off surgery. He spent time learning that playbook last year, so they want to keep it the same to give him the best chance for success. And you've just got too many guys that are knowing it and are coming back that if you change the playbook up again, you're just creating more problems than you had last year on offense.
I'm calling BS on that because y'all claim to draft and trade for the highest IQ players, so they shouldn't have a problem with the play scheme if y'all need to switch it up. But okay, I'm satisfied with your answer though, but I'm calling BS on it.
I mean, hey, Dax, do you really think that y'all got a shot on winning the division this year?
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
100%, absolutely. Before the opt-outs, I had us reasonably at 11-5 or 12-4, based on the fact that before the opt-outs, our defense got us arguably about 7 of our 11 wins last year, with a Brady who, let's be frank, was not bad, but not the Brady, like maybe the young 2002-2003 Brady that we were used to seeing, where he wasn't asked to do much in a lower scoring offense and a dominant defense. I think even with the opt-outs, our defense is still within that top 5 range. Maybe not what it was because Hightower hurts. But I just look at the injuries and the lack of depth they had on offense last year. You have a more mobile quarterback now, which we've never really had. We have full health on the offensive line other than Cannon opting out. We have 2 tight ends now, which we love those dual tight end sets when we had Gronkowski and Hernandez in Asiasi and Keene. Wait to see what they can bring. And we have N'Keal Harry's second year. Sanu's healthy. Edelman's back.
Sanu.
Sanu, though, learning a new playbook, and he had ankle surgery. So I give him a pass.
So how many games are New England's going to win this year? Since you said they're going to win the division.
I had us at about 12 before. I'll go with 10 now.
You're going to go down to 10?
We could have had 10, but I said could be 12. Those were games that could go either way depending on the injuries and the depth and situation of each team.
So let me get this straight. Y'all gonna win 10 games with basically a whole new team, offense and defense.
It's hardly a whole new team. We just have guys coming back from injury.
Season start like 30 days from now.
It's not a whole new team.
Season start. You gotta develop chemistry with guys. Guys got to time in. Like,
does N'Keal Harry finally have a breakout year?
I thought, based on the fact that he was a rookie last year, he didn't play the first 8 games. He came back middle of the season, and he hadn't. You can learn the playbook all you want and study it, but until you can get out in the field and actually practice and develop chemistry, it's a whole different animal. And I thought the way he came back, stepped in on limited practice, and got chemistry going. I was very happy with the way he played. So
How
I
is he
think
going
there's
to
a
do
lot to
that with
build on.
Cam Newton all over again? He did that
Yeah,
with Brady last year.
yeah,
So
because
how is
Cam
he
Newton
going
really
ain't
like
Brady.
him, though. It's just
how is he going to
Brady
do
didn't
that with
him.
Cam Newton this year when they have not played no preseason? They never been in a real game situation. They've
Well,
never been in a game situation together. Never. So I don't
I hear
understand.
Newton's been having the first team reps in practice, and Josh McDaniels has been giving him the first team reps on the offensive side. And I heard he's been working with Edelman, Sanu, and Harry, and they all have very good chemistry together so far. And Harry and Sanu actually commented that this was more chemistry than they had this year with Newton and Stidham than they did last year with Brady.
I'm gonna go on the record and say this: if Tua Tagovailoa is the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, y'all don't even eclipse their record.
Oh,
Our defense will win us 9 games alone.
Your defense isn't nearly as good as Miami's defense.
Our defense is. I'm sure we'll talk about this later in the show. Well, one of the topics was going to be Bills or Patriots defense, which will be better overall. I think they're both top 5 units. I think you could argue, say, Patriots like 3, Bills 4, something like that. I think the Bills have a better pass rush and better linebackers. Maybe our pass rush is about even, but I think our secondary is better and their linebackers are better. You can pick and choose. They're a better run defense. We're better pass defense. You keep underestimating the New England defense. That secondary
I'm not underestimating the New England defense. I'm evaluating how you will be able to control the clock this year, given you have a quarterback who has a high level of question accuracy, who is learning a new system.
No. Cam Newton's question is not his accuracy. His question was his leadership, his general presence overall, his leadership, his willingness to not quit or pout. His accuracy has never really been in question. Statistically, if you're over 60%, you're about average. Cam Newton has proven he can be an accurate quarterback.
Bruh, for a career, Cam Newton is 59.6% accurate. He's never in a playoff outside of his playoff years thrown for over 60%, which goes to my point, which is why he got into the big spat with Kelvin Benjamin in the first place and has had other issues with other wide receivers that haven't been made public. But since I know inside information, Steve Smith had an issue with it, which is why they got him the hell up out of there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I agree with that. And on top of that, I know Steve Smith had some issues with that for sure.
I love that you mentioned that because completion percentage doesn't make everything for a quarterback. You do have to.
But I just gave you.
No, I know.
It's hard to be like, if you got accuracy problems off the rip, and let's be clear, his accuracy problems in the past, in my mind, in my evaluation, have been attributed to his lack of ability to consistently read defenses, which is why he aligned himself with Warren Moon to start. Warren Moon and Kurt Warner to help alleviate that. And then the second thing is he never really had big targets once Greg Olsen was gone. So when you don't have a bailout guy, and a lot of your receivers are either trash route runners or smaller guys, you're gonna.
I love that you're saying all this because I'm about to destroy it all. But go ahead.
Okay. Hold on. Let me read the comments real fast, and then you can detach the professionals' comments. Most of that defense was 2002 to 2005. Better be in there, said Will Bumby. He said Josh Norman will easily be the most picked on corner in the league. Marcus Betts. Matt isn't going anywhere, said Will Bumby. The tank for Trevor is being hidden by COVID. Belichick thinks he's slick. They don't care about 2020. They're tanking for Trevor. They won't win more than 6 games, said Will Bumby. Ramona said he is. Nothing sticks to him. He gets by with much more than any other tender coach would have been allowed. Will Bumby said Cam isn't even a short starter. TC Casey said 10-6, 11-5. He also said a new team. Stop it, Mookie. He said poor Patriots fans, they ain't ready for this. Said Will Bumby. Said it's New England, not Buffalo. We adapt fast, said Tom Casey. And Gil Harry's going to be a problem, said Marcus Betts. Cam is an MVP, said Mookie. Mookie said TC Casey, who I wish would get in here. We holding the show, hoping you would come on in here. I know you know nothing about that. LML Devon just made the bozo statement of the year. Oh my goodness. TC Casey, get your tail in here is what I'm gonna
I
say.
just made a bozo statement. I just
You
made
made
a.
several bozo statements.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh wow.
Because
Okay.
go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, it's
Go ahead. Go ahead.
getting hotter.
Because
I mean, do I need to get the debate on now?
I literally have to leave in 20 minutes. So whatever you got to say, Dallas, and make sure you break your points down one by one so that my rebuttals
quickly.
are not to overstep your statements. Okay?
Yeah, you got to be real quick. All right, but let me finish reading these comments, and then I think
Bozo statement.
last 20 minutes. Bills defense is higher than Patriots. Get out of here. Why you ain't in the room, Tom Casey? Buffalo has the best secondary in the league. I agree with that, Willem Bar, totally. Yeah. Melissa said somebody need to learn something about respect. God, he took off that Patriots hat. Cam hasn't played ball in a year, said Willem Mumbai.
2 years.
I'll do fine in life. Thanks. No Cam hate here, says Sharon. Cam is gonna shock all his detractors. Kelvin hated working with Cam. He was talked about when he was in Buffalo. Absolutely. You know, I was there for that.
It wasn't just Kelvin. It was Kelvin and Steve. They were adamant about Steve. Steve kept his in the locker room though, but the two near fist fights that they had was once Steve got into the commentators booth, that stuff became it leaked out. And let me just tell you, it was about how you gonna complain about me not being in a spot when the spot that you claim that you wanted me at, you threw the ball 3 yards away from it.
Melissa, I think Dallas does a really good job, actually. And no offense, but I really think he does. I really think he does a good job professionally as a sports commentator. I think he does a really good job.
Dallas is an outstanding, very articulate. He structures his arguments very, very well. Absolutely. I hope nobody is in the comment section questioning Dallas's ability to carry his own.
Yeah, he's phenomenal to me. I mean, that's just me personally.
He might be a little delirious on his arguments, but
he might be a little fiery too. But I love the fire. Ramona, don't sweat it. He coming. Eric Winters said Cam is a force. That's why this question as well. He's not a winner in the last 10 years. He's been a top 10 quarterback. The fact system quarterbacks, Cam is a different type of star. It's hard to be accurate when you're literally running for your life and you have mediocre targets, said Sharon. To say if Tua is going to start, they will eclipse New England is horse, S-H-I-T. Respect Dallas, said Sharon. Melissa said he's a troll. So are you, TC. Oh, God, Melissa, he's not. Dallas brings facts, reasonable commentary with non-biased opinions. TC Casey, I wish you would bring your non-biased opinion, reasonable commentary.
Wait. Hold. That was TC that said that? TC talked about somebody being unbiased.
Yeah, he said Dallas brings facts, and yeah.
Dallas bring.
Let's not do this.
Dallas does bring facts. Dallas does speak. Dallas does try to be unbiased. Everybody's human, so everybody's slightly biased. Let's be clear, but he does try to be as unbiased as possible. Absolutely. Too bad the commentator cannot say the same.
Interesting. Sharon said mediocre targets. I don't mean Steve Smith.
Woo! Thank you for echoing my point, Sharon. I want to hear what Dallas got to say because he talked about my 3 points. So I really want to get to that before I got to get out of here.
Casey, every damn show now. Come on. Okay, listen. Once you have this sediment on what he's talking about, this point, I'm going to get to the debate. these topics because I had them all in play, and people need to hear them.
Okay.
Go ahead, real quick. I'll give you 2 minutes, Dallas, to cut that up.
All right. So the way I look at it, what Cam Newton's scheme that he was in Carolina all those years, he didn't really have a lot of great targets. I mean, outside of Steve Smith, what was the best targets he ever had? Jericho Cotchery, Ted Ginn. I mean, he didn't have a lot of spectacular targets to throw to other than Greg Olsen. Pretty mediocre talent. And when you are running for your life and you're in a bad offensive scheme, that's going to kill you. Belichick is known for being great at scheming up the offense with Josh McDaniels. Their offensive scheme, much like Philly's, they run a lot of short 5 to 10 yard patterns, which do help quarterbacks that have accuracy problems play better and throw better and not miss their pass. It's all about timing, not so much accuracy. Is it easier to throw 20 yards down the field or 5 yards? You get guys like Edelman who go 5 yards down the field. Sanu, they have the big-bodied tight ends. They have James White, who is one of the greatest receiving backs in the league out of the backfield, the change of pace. They have Josh McDaniels, who's one of the most innovative offensive creators in the league and can design play calls even within the scheme that stays the same for the talent around him. They have the big-bodied receivers in Sanu and Harry, and this is arguably the best supporting cast offensive-wise, running backs, receivers, tight ends that Cam Newton has ever had, and he's under the greatest coach in league history.
Just to be clear, you said they had mediocre targets outside of Greg Olsen and Steve Smith, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so his list of targets are Greg Funches, I mean, it's not Greg. Devin Funches. What's his name? The rookie Moore.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore. He had C-Mac, and that was the year that was the year before he took the year off for injury, right? That's who he had at his disposal. And it's your opinion that the core in England is exponentially better than what he had in Carolina. Is that accurate?
Also considering the offensive line, yes, because he won't be running for his life anymore.
Yes, he will.
So let's be clear. All right. In your opinion, is Cam Newton on the same level as Tom Brady in terms of passing the ball?
No one's on the same level as Tom Brady.
Okay. In your opinion, is Cam Newton's ability to grasp concepts and playbooks anywhere near a quarterback like, let's just say, Tom Brady?
I already said nobody's on the same level as Tom Brady.
I'm asking these questions.
Argument using the same question over and over and over again. Then this.
No. I'm being very, very strategic about how I'm asking the questions, because there's this thing called semantics, and I don't want you to be misled by where I go with this. So, is it fair to say that no running back in the league, damn near, especially on the Patriots roster, compares to C-Mac?
Yep.
Okay, and is it also fair to say that that same scheme that you just ripped apart is the same scheme that Cam Newton used to get to the Super Bowl?
No, it's not fair to say. It's not the same scheme.
I'm sorry. Why isn't it the same scheme?
In New England, you have a lot of 3-step drops.
No. I said the scheme that you ripped apart in Carolina, is that not the same scheme that Cam Newton used to get to the Super Bowl? When he was in Carolina, did he not get to the Super Bowl with that same scheme?
Yes, he did, with the mediocre talent of Jericho Cotchery among those other guys. When he had one of the most mediocre receiving cores of his career, he still used that scheme to get to Carolina in a lesser quarterback-friendly scheme than you now have in New England, with more depth.
And what was his completion percentage during that season?
Oh my God! It's about time.
Statistically,
someone has showed up in the building.
I'll help you out. It's 59.8%. He threw for 3,800 yards, the third highest output that he had for his entire career. His rookie year was the best output that he had, and even in his rookie year, he threw right at 60%. And by your own admission, 60% is mediocre and average. And in that year, you said that he had 2 top tier talented receivers in Steve Smith and Greg Olsen, correct? Do you see? Is there a tight end on your team with Greg Olsen's abilities?
No.
Is there a receiver on your team with Steve Smith's abilities at that juncture in his career?
No.
So if that's the case, you're banking on Cam Newton's production being solely predicated on Josh McDaniels' ability to devise a scheme that he can not only perform under, but also understand.
Yes, because I use Philly as an example, because that's what Nick Foles did in Philly. Nick Foles looked like trash outside of Philly.
Nick Foles had 2 13-win seasons in Philly with 2 different quarterbacks. You can't compare the two.
Yes, I can. They run a quarterback-friendly scheme like the Patriots do. They run a lot of short 3 to 5 step drops during that time. Why Nick Foles looks so good during that run, especially Peterson, who is a quarterback's coach. A lot of 3 to 5 step quick drops, throws that are 5 yards that are hard to miss and easier to make.
Hold on. You cannot compare the two because Nick Foles has never had a season where he threw for less than 65% completion rating. Never. And he's had 2 of the most successful QBR seasons of any quarterback in NFL history. You're never going to say that about Cam Newton. I don't care who you give him as a scheme orchestrator. You're never going to say that. And it's not always because of his throwing. It's because if he panics, he's taking off.
All right, listen. I love this debate. We can have this debate again on Monday Night Madness. This is why we bring the top tier shows right here. Right here, man, right here. But the battle was about to commence. I told y'all I was ready for this. I had this all geared up and ready, folks. Y'all don't want to miss this. Moogie Hawkins in the building. Tom Casey is in the house.
I gotta leave.
Hold on. Hey, before you go though, Devon, before you go, how can you say, right, that Tua, if he plays, will eclipse the Patriots, but the sentence before that, you're bringing up injuries with Cam Newton. Injuries? Isn't Tua the definition of injury? Before he even gets into the NFL?
Has Tua played a down in the NFL? I think we've seen several quarterbacks across this NFL that were injury prone in college that never got injured in the NFL because they're in a system that strength and conditioning wise prepares them for the rigors of the NFL.
Miami Dolphins strength and conditioning? Really? You want to go there? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
You think that's a good strength and conditioning program? Look at the injuries over the years. Come on now, man. You are a Patriot.
See, I love your verbiage here.
You're a Cam Newton hater. Okay.
So, stop right there.
Okay.
Stop right there.
Yep. No,
stop
you
right
are.
there.
No,
Mookie,
you are.
Mookie, have we not been 2 of the biggest proponents of how good Cam Newton is?
Why are you bringing Mookie into this?
No. Listen. Mookie, have we not been 2 of the biggest proponents of how good Cam Newton is?
And Josh McDaniels. Who was his coach in Carolina?
See, this is what I'm talking about. Listen.
You mean to tell me that you don't think that the Patriots...
Anytime somebody disagrees with you, they're automatically a hater. That's not how this works.
You talk out of your ass, Devin. You talk out of your ass.
It's Devon, first of all, and second of all,
whatever your name is, Devon. Okay, whatever your name is. All you do is talk out of your ass.
And to you, it's D. Stanfield, the professional.
So
that's
right
first
now,
and foremost.
If Tua starts, they're going to equip the Patriots. $500 right now. Everybody listening, $500. If Tua starts, they're going to equip the Patriots. Put your money where your mouth is because you're full of shit. And you have been full of shit ever since Mitch Trubisky.
See, wait a minute.
Hostile Patriots.
When you talk,
got the nerve to call me biased.
Yes, correct.
And you can't even conjure up a sentence of debate and argumentative structure without using profane language. You see how professional that thought
quarterback. You're talking about an injured quarterback who's never played a down in the NFL. He's going to come in and eclipse the Patriots.
Oh my goodness! All right, just before I go, just answer me this one question, TC.
Answer mine. $500.
I already answered your question. I'm not betting you. Oh my God.
$500.
Anyway, moving on. Answer me this one question, Mr. TC Casey. Since you're so smart, since you're so enamoredly educated on Patriots football, and I want you to watch Mookie and Dre's face as I ask you this question. Did the Miami Dolphins beat y'all with Ryan Fitzpatrick last year?
Hey, what's your point?
So what the hell you think they're going to do with Tua Tagovailoa?
We had issues in the locker room last year. Tom Brady didn't want to be a Patriot last year.
TC, me and you had a private conversation about this very fact, did we not?
What was that?
About what was going on in the locker room in New England.
Correct.
Me and you were also two of the first people that said that Cam Newton was going to end up in New England, right?
Correct. Yes.
The only concerns were accuracy, right?
Correct. That's
been my only definitive argument about the Cam Newton experiment, because
Devon, if we're not changing, you said it yourself earlier. We're not going to change the offense at all. We don't throw the ball deep. They're setting the ball. That's
my problem, because we know Cam Newton has always tried to push the ball down the field. I personally feel like there's going to be a conflict on philosophy altogether before they even get to game 2 and 3.
So you think that he's not going to adapt to the Patriots' way?
That's my argument. That's my argument right there. If I'm not mistaken, we talked about this in private. If I'm not mistaken,
respect that. When you say it like that, I can respect that. Now I can agree with you there, because that's the big question mark even coming in when we did talk before all this went down.
If he knows his role and plays his role, then they could run the table.
Agreed. Or it could go the other way. You're right.
The other way.
And it's a short. And I think
I think you and I both know, just like me and you, and sometimes Dre, ego is going to play a piece as to how successful Cam Newton is in that Patriots jersey.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, you know that. All right, let's get to these debate topics. TC Casey, yo, listen, the roof just.
I got a slide, y'all. Mookie, good luck against TC.
hey, Devon, it's all love, man. You know that.
Always, man. Always.
All love. We do it for the entertainment factor.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the Rise Up family, man. Y'all have a great day. Peace out.
Amen.
Now, TC Casey, I specifically brought you here for the debate topics that we have with Mookie Hawkins, and it's about to get real. It has to get real. This is going down real quick. So here are the rules of engagement before I get this joint jumping. You will get a minute or a minute and a half to express your thought on these topics. Once you do that, me and Dallas Oliver, seeing we'll play the devil's advocate, will critique your arguments. We'll say what we need to. We'll read the comments in the comment section, and then we'll go. All right. Let's get this on. I got the music pumped. I'm ready. I'm ready to get this joint going. I got the music going. All that. Man. About to get real. Debate question number 1, folks. Real simple. Real easy. Mookie Hawkins. TC Casey. Who's the best cornerback in the league?
I'll go first.
Who's the best corner in the league? I will start with Mookie Hawkins, then TC Casey, and then we'll go. Mookie Hawkins.
Let TC take the floor. He wanted to speak. Let him go.
All right. Well, TC, it's been deferred to you. Unmute your mic, brother. Let's go.
All right, I'm here. So listen, I'm going to break it down to you like this. If you want to go down based on last year, we're going one season, then I'll give it to you. Trey White probably did have a better season last year than Stephon Gilmore. But I think when it comes to these type of things, I think it's more of your resume and your track record. If you look at Stephon Gilmore, he's played in the big games. He's won the big games. Trey, when you win the big game, that's when you become number one in my eyes. Thank you.
Woo! Real quick. He put it down real quick. Mookie Hawkins. It's your turn, brother. You gotta unmute your mic, brother. Oh, let me unmute it. There you go. Hold on. Unmute your mic. There you go. Let's go.
I mean, got Gilly Lock. I can agree with that to some degree, though. I mean, Gilmore, we shouldn't let him get out of Buffalo to begin with. You know what I mean? Imagine if Stephon Gilmore was still here and Trey White was on the other side. We wouldn't even be having this topic because we'll have the best two corners on the same team. So, I mean, I get Stephon the edge because, hey, he's played longer. He's been there, and that's he's big homie. You know what I mean? Right now, Tre'Davious, he's on route to being the best corner in the league. So I can agree with what he said right there.
Wow.
Like that. We agree. I like that.
Now, did anybody expect that? Because I didn't expect that. First round.
I mean,
I
we're
didn't
keeping
expect
it real.
that.
We not just. It's not just a debate, just to debate. That is. I mean, we just
Facts.
keeping it real. I mean, I can ask Trey White. You know what I mean? He'll say the same thing. He's going to get that nod to big homie, Steph Gilmore, and he's still a former Buffalo Bill. So I ain't about to rag on that. New England is good for taking our players and knowing what to do with them at some degree. But now we know what to do with our players, so it's on.
You know the craziest part of the Gilmore thing, Mookie, is that the Patriots paid him. We don't pay anybody.
Right,
And the
they paid him
went out and paid
$15
him.
million. Right,
crazy.
So I'm like, ooh, yeah. What could we do? You know what I mean? If the Patriots throw you a bag, guys gonna go there. You know what I mean? And get paid too. They're gonna go to New England. So I can get that. I can get that. Trey White's time is coming for all of that. You know what I mean? It can come early as this year. You know what I mean? But we got to give respect where respect due. You know what I mean? Last year, hey, he was Defensive Player of the Year, and you can't take that away from him. You know what I mean? Hey, that's my guy. You know what I mean? I mess with Steph. You know what I mean? That's my boy. So I can agree with that.
Dallas Oliver, how you feel about that first debate? Yo, listen, this is what we waited all show for right here, man. That was very interesting. And that was just one. That was interesting. So what's your thoughts? Give you a quick synopsis. I'll give mine.
The best cornerback in the league is Stephon Gilmore. Like TC said, based off last year, Trey White probably did have a little better of a year, and Gilmore probably got the Defensive Player of the Year because of, I guess, league popularity, whatever sport it is, does play a little bit of a factor. But you do look at the overall track record and the career resume. Trey White is on his way up, but he has to keep showing that consistency. But based on the last 2 to 3 years that Gilmore's put together, capped off with his Defensive Player of the Year award last year, and solidifying his role as the number one in New England, I think that also solidifies his number one throughout the league. Just the form of consistency that he plays with.
Just because he's number one, just because he's number one in New England, that means he's number one in the whole universe.
No, because of the season that he put together last year, plus the consistency from the year before and the year before that. He's gotten better each year, every year, and especially since he's got to New England and he's become that number one. And the level of high play over the several of the last years is what has made him now number one in the league. If Trey White continues that, he will be number one in the league. But right now, it's Gilmore.
And let's see what Gilmore does this year, because I think there's a lot of pressure on Gilmore this year. With the defense, with the guys that we've lost.
It's a lot of pressure. So
although our secondary is still in a nice place, even with the loss of Chung.
Agreed. And I think J.C. Jackson, if we keep him, is going to be a great number 2.
Well, what about that rookie corner y'all have from was it Vanderbilt? That big corner, Juwan Johnson, is it?
Joan Williams. I don't think he could be a cut. Honestly,
he got arrested. Yeah, he got into some legal trouble, didn't he? Not too long ago. Yeah, I think so.
No,
he'll be a cut. I don't see it.
I liked him. I thought he, we always redshirt guys, and I thought he was going to do stuff this year, and then I know that he got arrested for something stupid in the offseason.
Big corner too. Yeah, big corner. Big corner right there.
Y'all listen, y'all loving the conversation. Make sure you continue to support Rise Up Early, the Buffalo Bills edition. Mookie Hawkins, myself. It's my turn. 5-star time.
I mean, the last person to catch a touchdown on Gilly Lock was Smoke. So, boy, oh boy, he gonna be locked up with Stephon Diggs. Well, can't wait to see that matchup. I can't wait to see that matchup.
if John smoked him, if Smoke smoked him, I can't wait to see Gilly lock and Diggs lock up. And then who's checking Brown now? Who's checking him? Now who's going to check
You
him?
have 4
McCourty?
corners in New England
McCourty?
to worry about. You don't have enough receivers to match up with our corners. Jason McCourty,
What?
Jonathan Jones, J.C. Jackson.
You out your mind. Who checking Dawson Knox now? Chung gone.
Oh, the tight end that has like a horrible hands and can't catch. He has like fumble hands. He gets the ball and he's like, ugh,
He was
was
catching
juggling.
dimes in New England. He caught a dime against New England in the end zone.
Yeah, you won't
Okay,
worry
is
about
that
that.
one example you can give me?
Yeah,
It-
that's enough.
it
That was
hurt
against
us.
New England, wasn't it? It was against y'all. He was a rookie last year. Don't worry, he's going to have a breakout season this year because
Dallas, you remember,
weapons.
we wanted him. New England wanted him, and Buffalo sniped him from us in the draft.
Right. Dude out here running 4.4s, man. Just relax. This is the second year. He's going to be better. The middle of the field going to be so wide open because y'all going to be sauce, smoke, fire,
Right,
Singletary.
tell that to me when Devin McCourty's locking him up all day. McCourty doesn't get the respect he needs.
Yes, he do. McCourty is one. Yeah, yes, he does.
Then you ask who's locking him up. There you go.
That's not his. He don't. Chung. That was Chung's responsibility.
All right.
Chuck was our run stopper.
And run on against tight ends.
See, I guess I'm gonna get some fire started. You know, when there's fire, there's smoke. Obviously,
When there's smoke, there's fire.
When there's when there's smoke, there's fire. No point intended. But this is how I feel about this situation, and you guys are gonna get upset with me. I get it. Stephon Gilmore in New England, obviously, you know how people feel about him. He's a great corner in New England. But I remember Stephon Gilmore, who used to live right around the corner from me when I lived on Hurdle. That's Stephon Gilmore. So I'm just going, I guess it's time for me to show y'all a little something. This is the coverage stats since 2017, folks. I want you to pay attention to these numbers very clearly. Stephon Gilmore, 9 touchdowns allowed, 10 interceptions. Trey White, 5 touchdowns allowed, 12 interceptions.
Andre, but what you're missing here is you need to have the schedules up as well for who they played against.
TC Casey, I'm glad that you just interjected. I hadn't even finished yet. Thank you very much.
Lined you up. He lined you up for that.
Yeah, I'm lining him up because I knew that was going to get a reaction from him. I told you a fire start.
They don't like that. You know, them Patriots don't man. They don't like that. You put up. They think that's a fake stat right there.
So now, yes, thank you, Ramona. Thank you, Ramona. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, everybody who's tuned in for sure. This is just first and foremost. I remember when a certain Stephon Gilmore was looking at was a great speller. He should have been in the spelling bee. You want to know why? Shout out to my man Jay Andre Frederick for this one. Because I remember when he was looking at the back of wide receivers' jerseys when he was here. When he was here, he was looking at the back of some wide receivers' jerseys. Trey White came here, and I don't see that in Trey White. Now, you do have a point when it comes down to big game, big fight field. Stephon Gilmore definitely locked up your man in Dallas. Made him cry on the bench, the whole 9 yards. Amari Cooper, I remember that. Trust me. I give Stephon Gilmore a lot of credit because he's developed like every other Bills player when they leave Buffalo or they go to New England or somewhere else. They end up developing better for some reason, and he's became a better player. He is on a team that has Super Bowl rings, so I can understand why Stephon Gilmore is viewed as number one. But this is the conversation we have as far as talent versus team. Again, talent-wise, production-wise, individual-wise, I think Trey White is better. And that is just my personal opinion. That I think Trey White is better from what I've seen. The guy is a playmaker. Not only is he a playmaker, but he's a game breaker as well. A hell of a game breaker. For those reasons, and after this season, when we see Trey White up his game some more, because I think he's going to come in with a chip on the shoulder, especially that now folks who claim to be Bills Mafia done pissed him off. I think Trey White will be the best corner in the league, undoubtedly, after this season.
Dre, let me just say one thing to you, though. In Dallas, you could probably jump off this as well. When Gilmore first came here, I remember we were playing a lot of zone, right? Wasn't he upset with that? He wanted to play more man, and we were running a lot of zone. So that's why I feel like that stat that you're putting, it's like, it's true, it's there, but I just feel like the first year we had Gilmore, we really didn't use him, to his full capability, I think.
And
That's all I want to say.
And I can respect that. I can respect that. I definitely can respect that. Totally. I definitely can respect that.
I think Bill was still learning how to use him, like when we brought him in, so. But I mean, I'm not going to be a hater. Like, I might in the chat, I might say things to get a rise out of people. But Tre'Davious White is the truth. I mean, he's like Mookie said, he's the number 2. He's waiting in the reins just to come out. He's going to be the guy. So, but I think at the end of the day, look at a guy like Stephon Gilmore. He's won the big game, and I think that if we're going to say who's number 1 and who's the best, track record, you got to have something there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Trey White's great, and he does have some good, some good games under his belt. But Gilmore just has that much more clout, I think. That's all. I mean, I'm not hating. I think Trey and look, Tremaine, you guys got a hell of a defense over there, and if you guys can never get the offense going, I see the next topic here. It's going to be scary to see.
Yeah, you see it. All right, comments real quick. Trey White easily said Willem Mumbars. Dalton Smith said Trey White. Ramona said Trey White. With his age, White is going to be better. It's proven Trey has been better than Gilmore the last 3 seasons. Detroit Lions Jackson said Stephon Gilmore is better than White. What wasn't the Patriots' number 1 defense at one point? Because this man, that doesn't count. Said Eric Winters. Gilmore was getting cooked in Buffalo. Yeah, he was getting cooked in Buffalo. White is better, said Sharon. Stephon Gilmore way better than Trey White, said Detroit Jackson. Yeah, Detroit Jackson. Eric Winter said, Dallas, you better say it with your chest, brother. He said, say it with your chest. I see you paused and grandma got his attention right now. It's all good. Trey White has been better the last few years. Will said, y'all tripping. Mookie always looking fly as ever. Gotta love it. Mookie, man, I told you them bands to make them dance. The glasses you got on right now. Negative will begin to tell me what has he done to get him to the playoffs or Super Bowl. Ooh, I'm telling y'all that it's the hat. Dallas, take the hat off. They messing with Dallas about his hat. You saying Gilmore was the only reason why the Patriots went to the Super Bowl or playoffs? Diggs, Smoke, Beasley. Andre, take your time. Absolutely. That's right, Andre. Show him. All right. All right. I get it. The fact that Gilmore is just gelling and has been in the league longer doesn't matter. Sharon said White is on the upstick. He's more skilled, faster, better cover. White's hang time is ridiculous. White is better right now. They're stat guys and they're guys who have the eye test. And man for man, this brother is the one. I look at stats plus eye test. So do I. Matt McDaniel, what's going on? What's going on? Macology in the building. New England Patriots just made a trade with my Detroit Lions. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's go to number 2. Which quarterback will have a better season? Let's get it. You see it here. I'm going to let Mookie Hawkins start first because TC started first the last time. So go ahead, Mookie.
What do you mean who gonna have a better season? We already know who gonna have a better season.
That's right. Go ahead and tell us.
Josh is gonna have a better season than Cam. Cam gonna be running for his life this year. Y'all think that Cam's gonna just all of a sudden just had this miraculous breakout year, like he's back making a Super Bowl run. Don't get me wrong, I mess with Cam, hard body all day, but he's in New England now, and that's just where it's at right now. You know what I mean? I don't see Cam Newton having those career numbers, and it's bad because he's going to be the scapegoat on every time they lose. He's going to be the reason why. And I mean, hopefully he's matured from the media standpoint with things, but to me, it's kind of like y'all saying that he got these great people around him and all that stuff, but they never played in a game together. None of them. They have no you check the continuity. It has to be very low. You got on your defensive side they opting out, but since we're just talking on the offensive side, I mean he don't have no chemistry with nobody. Absolutely zero. Okay, they got chemistry by throwing the ball in the at your nearest high school, but what he's gonna do when the kill Harry is locked up with Josh Normal or Tre'Davious White? What is he gonna? That timing is gonna be off. Best and trust and believe that timing is definitely gonna be off. What's gonna happen when that right guy, that right tackle whips that block against a Espinosa or Mario Addison and then Dre Hughes on that back end? What's going to happen? You know what I mean? So it's like I don't see Cam Newton being better than Josh Allen. And for the record, since everybody got something to say about Josh Allen, name any quarterback this offseason that's been getting more applauded by what he's been doing with the work that he's been putting in, the necessary time reaching out to guys like Peyton Manning and Drew Brees, just picking their brains. Something that you think a top number one overall quarterback will be doing right now. Josh Allen has been the most talked about quarterback on, as far as his working out, getting his teammates together, things of that nature. He's been highly talked about this year about that. He's basically hasn't had an off season. He's been working on his game. We got added weapons, and the continuity is there. That's a big key for having your whole offensive line back again for another season. You just don't know how instrumental that will be. And to have everybody back on our offense, we don't miss a starter. I mean, we missed one with Feliciano, but we got a great pickup in Winters, and we got a great pickup in Stephon Diggs. So this has elevated Josh Allen's game, and he will throw over 60% since everybody want to keep on talking about that 60% completion percentage last year. He will throw for over 4,000 yards. He will have over 500 passing attempts this year. So I think Josh Allen is definitely going to have a breakout season this year over Cam. That's
All
right.
right. Awesome. Woo! TC Casey. Let's
All
get
right.
it.
So real quick, we just announced trade. Patriots have acquired Michael Jackson, cornerback from Detroit. Looks like he was drafted last year by the Cowboys. Don't really know much about him, but physical, good tackler, outside cornerback type. So interesting move. As far as Cam Newton and Josh Allen, I mean, I'm not going to come out here and blow a bunch of smoke up you guys' ass. The reality is we don't really know what Cam Newton's going to bring, okay? Is he healthy? I can tell you this. All the beat writers, all the analysts are saying that he is slinging the ball, okay? So that's telling me that the shoulder's okay. Is the ankle good? We don't know. Is he going to have that first step speed? Is he going to be able to cut? Is he going to be a pocket passer now? I mean, what Cam Newton is gonna come to New England? That's the biggest question. Nobody knows. If he's healthy and our running backs are healthy, and as Mookie was saying, he can build some chemistry with the players. I think that he can have a good season. Now, based off one season, I got to say this. Josh Allen, like you said, Mookie, he's got the chemistry with these guys. He's got basically, a couple new inputs there, Diggs, but a number one receiver isn't really much of an input. Like, he can just go there and fit right in. So the biggest concern, I would say, is Beasley's back. Is that going to linger? Is that going to be an issue? Last year, we saw that when Josh Allen was in trouble, Beasley was his guy, and when Beasley signed with you guys and he kind of snubbed the Patriots, I'll admit I was pissed. I mean, Beasley's a great player. I think he's a great fit for you guys. And that really, is a question mark. Can John Brown slide into that position? I think he can. But, he did so well for you guys on the outside last year. I really don't think I'd want to mess with that. So the running game, I think Buffalo and New England, I think we're pretty evenly matched, I would say. I know a lot of people have a lot to say about Sony Michel. But, we got Damian Harris coming in. We got Rex Burkhead. So, who's going to have the better season? I honestly think it's a draw, to be honest with you. There's so many question marks with Josh Allen. There's so many question marks with Cam Newton. If I got to give it to one guy, I'll give it to Josh Allen, only because the chemistry and, he's played in that offense. So,
Wow.
like I said, I'm not like I said. I mean, in the chat, I might be a Patriots home and this that, but I'm gonna come on here and put my name on something. I got to be real with it, and that's the reality,
Wow. Wow.
Gotta be realistic. Let's be realistic. I know we debate, but let's just be realistic with certain things. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean?
And hey, and it's not easy for me to say that. I will go on record and say that.
Hey, y'all got a few growing pains y'all dealing with now. You know what I mean? We've been doing that for the past 17 years.
Dallas, can you believe what you've heard in round 1 and 2?
All right, I'm going to start it off like this. Obviously, like TC, big Patriots guy, try not to be the homer. But if I'm going to sign my name to something on the air, I don't want it to be something in the Max Kellerman family of can you believe the crap that he just said.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be reasonable. I'm not going to be Max Kellerman here. If it kills me, and I love to rag on Josh Allen, I don't think he'll be above 60%. I will pick some of what you said, Mookie. I think he'll still be down around that 57, 58%. I don't think you can count Stephon Diggs as his main guy yet, only because you said you wanted to go with the fact that Cam Newton's not going to have the chemistry and the continuity with the guys just from throwing at him at the local high school, but what's going to happen in the game when they're locked up. Same difference for me. Yeah, he's back with his O-line and Beasley and Brown. He doesn't have a single game played or real game snaps played with Stephon Diggs yet. It may take him a while to find that continuity and that chemistry with him. So if they're not getting it with Cam right away, you can't say that Josh Allen's going to get it with Diggs right away. It will definitely help, but it may not be there right to start. Like you had N'Keal Harry didn't have it with Brady because he was injured and came back. And it took him a little bit to get going. That being said, Allen does know the scheme. The new players will adapt. There is a lot of unknowns with Newton. So only for that reason, I would have to give it to Josh Allen. But it will be pretty even. I think it'll be a wash for the most part for that reason. They'll both have a good year.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
With that being said, I ain't got nothing to say on this. Listen. I enjoyed listening to it. I enjoyed listening to the second round. I enjoyed listening to Dallas. But listen, I'm gonna say this one more time. This is not to be facetious or anything. But Dallas Oliver is my guy. This is my guy right here. This is my guy. All right. That's something you probably ain't heard me say, Dallas, but that's real. Let's keep it real rap. You are my guy, man. Yes. I respect your definite sports acumen, man. So we appreciate you, brother.
Dallas.
Look how modest he is. I love it. He's so modest. Love it. Listen, let's get to the next one, folks, because this is gonna get real. There's some more, folks. This is what we do. We fire start. Ooh-wee. Let's put it on the board, folks. Better running back, Devin Singletary or Sony Michel. Put it on the board. Here we go. I'll let you go first, TC.
All right, so I'm gonna come out and I'm a huge Sony Michel fan. I know last year wasn't his best year, but if you go back 2 years, he had a great season. The Super Bowl run, I mean, there were 3 touchdown games. And then last year, you kind of saw a little bit of a lapse. He was hurt. He's hurt now. He's coming off a surgery. Devin Singletary, I think, is, as we've said, he's going to be good. I think last year he showed flashes. Obviously, with Gore there and the way that offense was running, you really didn't get to see Singletary, I think, unleashed to his full power. So this is hard for me to say because I think you're going to see Devin Singletary unleashed this year. I think Moss is going to be the third down back for you guys. And if Devin's unleashed and you guys now you got Diggs and Allen can read a defense and start making some plays throwing the ball, I think easily you could see Devin Singletary easily beat Sony Michel, only because we have so many backs and the offense, as you guys have all seen, if you play fantasy football and ever drafted a Patriots running back, you can't really trust which running back it's going to be week to week for the Patriots. And quite frankly, Sony Michel really can't be trusted at this point, I don't think. So I'll give the nod to Devin Singletary, but again, normally I'm a guy that goes off resume and track record, and if you're going to go up based off that, you would say Sony Michel easily because he's played in the big games, he's performed well in the big games, and we haven't seen that yet with Devin. But there's a lot of question marks going forward here with Sony Michel. He could be done. This is, I think, his second surgery since coming into the league. So I'll give the nod to Singletary here, but it could go honestly. I mean, Michel could have a huge year this year. So who really knows? But we'll give it to Devin, and that's my take here.
Mook.
Well, yeah, I like Sony Michel coming out of Georgia. He did give me some of those Shady McCoy traits, but he did have those injury concerns, and right now that's what's holding up, with him as far as the league. If he can be healthy, he can be definitely one of the elite backs, but he just can't stay healthy. Singletary was a rookie last year. He did have the little hamstring pull, but he still was second in the league with our average per carry. If the Bills will go ahead and take those training wheels off this year, I think, he's going to have a 1,000-yard season. And all his numbers should go up just due to the fact he is, our starter right now. Zach Moss will have his share of touches, but, I do think that Devin is definitely going to have a breakout season. It's going to run over 100 yards and, help our run game this year tremendously.
Dallas, how you feel about that? They surprised me with this. They are surprising me today. Wow.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, it's slightly, changing of the guard. They're not going to admit that. You know what I mean? Why don't you just act like Josh Norman and Dre, be like, just ask them what you really want to ask them. Just go beat the Bills because, with all this going on, we agreeing to disagree. Let's just get right to it.
That's okay. We gonna listen. It's gonna get warm. It's gonna get even warmer. Dallas, as we get to the next one, what you think?
It's 4:30. You know what I mean? So I got it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give my take here, and then I actually gotta jump off here and go do some of the other stuff I was gonna do today. But I'm gonna finish up with my take here. I think. Sorry, I gotta bail early, but some other stuff I gotta do. I'm going to be a Patriots homer here. I gave my props to Josh Allen. I shocked the world. I shocked everybody. I went pro Buffalo. I got to go back to what I know. I got to be familiar. I got to go with Sony Michel here. Certainly not taking anything away from Devin Singletary. I think they're both tremendous runners and have a great skill set in their own ways. I think Singletary is better of a pass receiver than Michel is. Michel is more of a between the tackles power runner. But I feel like when it comes to speed and busting it off the edge, with a pitch, if you're going to give a pitch play to either one of them, I would probably be more prone to give it to Michel. Like TC said, we saw his Super Bowl run. We saw his playoff run where he sliced right through the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Rams. And if it's not for Michel able to put that ball over the goal line, to finish that touchdown drive with the setup to Gronk, they don't get that touchdown. Who's to say the Rams don't go down and score if Gilmore doesn't make that interception? It's not playing in the big games that makes you the best, because Barry Sanders never got to play in the biggest games because of his bad team, but he was unequivocally the best because of his undeniable skill set. What makes Michel the best is that he showed up when he had the opportunity to play in the big games. If Singletary gets a chance to play in the big game and shows up, then we can reevaluate that. But I'm saying because he's played in the big games and showed up, that's what makes him the better one.
Yeah, and just people in the comments saying that it's Sony Michel easy. As Mookie stated, Singletary was first or second in the league yards per carry. I mean, Buffalo really didn't utilize him. If you guys gave him more opportunity and more carries, I mean, you can't just sit here and say Sony Michel. I mean, if we're going off last year, that's hard to say. What did Sony Michel even do last year? I mean,
True. I mean, y'all always been running back by committee anyway. You know what I mean? So,
except for when we had Corey Dillon rush for 1,300 plus.
That's killing Corey Dillon. Killing Corey Dillon. That's when y'all was really controlling the offense. Then when y'all got running backs like that, but hey, man, I know y'all are true blue diehard Patriots fans just as much as I'm a true blue diehard Bills fan, but I don't see us losing the game to you guys. I don't see us losing the game in the division. I just think that this year was a great excuse for y'all to tank to get Trevor Lawrence. Y'all going to compete your asses off just because y'all are who y'all are. Y'all have been a powerhouse dynasty, for years and years and years. But not this year. Not this year. Not this year. Y'all want to call it the COVID Bowl, the COVID title, whatever. We for all of that. And next year, don't think that y'all going to get it back just because COVID may be over.
I got one hot take for you, Mookie, before I bounce off here. You sweep Miami. You split with us. You win in your house. We win in our house. And you split with the Jets because they always play you tough no matter what you want to say about it. Even though C.J. Mosley opted out, the Jets always find a way to play you tough. And I think it comes down to like 1 or 2 games within the division. Patriots do win the division. You know why? Because it's Newton, England, Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Oh,
okay.
And with that, I'm bounce out of here. I will see you guys later.
Oliver, thank you very much. By the way, we're going to end the show by just saying we want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Hey, let me give my take real quick on. Hold on. So,
go ahead, John.
Hey, so I'll say this to you, Mookie. If there ever was a year for you guys to do what you're saying, it is the COVID year, right? So, look, I mean, let's just be real. I mean, the Patriots. If you go back 2 years. Yeah, we won the Super Bowl. We didn't really score. It was a low-scoring game. It wasn't your typical Patriots Super Bowl. It wasn't your typical Patriots really season for that matter. So if you want to look at teams, Buffalo's definitely on the up and up. Okay, they're the up-and-coming team. Right now the Patriots are wounded. Okay, we're on one knee, and this is your chance to slice our head off right here. Belichick, he's getting crafty. He's going into his bag of tricks. I said they're going to go after Cam Newton in the beginning, but in the back of my head, I said, there's no way this feng shui, this Mr. Fashion model over here is going to make his way to New England, and they signed him. So listen, I think it could go one of 2 ways. We could come out and we could be hot. We could go 12-4, 11-5, or we come out, we lose. I mean, if you look at our schedule, those first 5 games are brutal. And, Cam Newton, the biggest thing with him is always mental health, I think. And, he gets on a bad little tear. Next thing you know, he starts whining. Bill Belichick don't play that, okay? He'll trade you to Cleveland real quick. We've seen it before. So I'm going to say this. I'm a Patriots fan, die hard through and through. I will never, ever say that we're going to lose to Buffalo. I just can't do it. But I will say to you that you have a chance. That's what I'm going to say it as. And I'm really looking forward to it, given what's gone on this year, COVID. I'm a youth sports coach. Baseball we missed. Football is probably going to be missed now. So I'm glad to get this going. Something to bring people together. And I know the stadium, there's some restrictions, but you know what? We get to see football. We get to see our team again. And the Patriots, Buffalo, this is it, man. I mean, we've never had a year going in where it's been this close. And always it's been Buffalo. Oh, yeah, Buffalo, a bunch of homers. But I'll admit, you guys got a chance. And, normally where I'm standing tall, I'm walking I'm doing the penguin walk right now. So you got a chance. But in the end, I think the Patriots, with the coaching is what I think it comes down to. And you got to trust Bill. You got to trust Josh. I think, Bill and Josh both staying this year says something to you. I don't believe in the tanking theory or rumor, because at that point, why wouldn't McDaniels go somewhere and get a head coaching job and get paid? They want to win, and they want to also prove to everybody that, hey, we can win without Brady. This was coaching. This wasn't a Tom Brady thing. So it's going to be a fun year. And Mookie, I know we go back and forth a lot in the comments, and like I try to tell people, I do a lot of things for entertainment. I do a lot of things for reaction. I respect you as a professional. I see what you're doing. Hats off to you, man. And I hope that you guys do do well this year. Okay. I hope you don't beat us, but I hope you
That
guys
like
do
doo-doo,
well.
like doo-doo, well, like.
But that's what I'm gonna say. And hey, great debate. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad I came on. Dallas, I love your insight, man. Like I said earlier, great commentary, and you do provide unbiased opinion for the most part. I don't know what these people are saying in the comments.
I don't know, man. Off the record, Dallas would kill somebody else.
But
hey, man. Hey, it was great to have you on. And this was probably one of the most subtle Bills Patriot debates probably in history. But I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? The competition is there. It's there for the Bills to take in, but Patriots is not just going to let them get it that easy. It still goes through New England. Why do you think they televising this game? Week 16? Why they televising that game? That game is being televised just for that. It's more pressure for the Bills to go into Foxborough late in the season and just do what everybody expect them to do. Except for the Patriots, you know what I mean? So it's motivation for the Patriots to say, hey, we've been dominating this division forever, and we're not just gonna let the Bills come up in here and just take it away from us, no matter who's on the roster. So hey, it gives you that much added hype all through the season to finally see, when it's gonna happen later on. So, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
You'll see in
Let's get this fire started.
30 days.
Sports became a passion. Convo bring it to life, highlighting all the action. Opinions could explode like a chemical reaction. If we started from the bottom, now rise up the newest caption. Man, it's known that every team and every person got a nemesis.